ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Utopiacast. I am your host, Erik, and I am joined by the small school 8-man state champions. They used to be Class C, no longer. The Old Orchard Beach High School Seagulls. I would say alma mater. I don't know if that applies to high school. How you doing, guys?
Doing good.
All right. So we're going to go through each person here. They're going to state their names and they're going to state the positions they play. And we'll get to know each person on the micro, but we're going to start with the macro first. So we'll start with you on the end here, name, position, and we'll go down the line.
My name's Brady Plante. I play quarterback.
Third quarter now. Sophomore sensation Brady Plante with another picture-perfect touchdown pass. This went to Wes Gallant.
My name is Wes Gallant, and I play running back.
Provencher, wide receiver, defensive back.
Ian Blake, D-line.
Brayden Mansur. I play linebacker and fullback / tight end.
All right. So you guys have been, I would say all of you guys, but I know a little bit about some of you. Most of you have been playing together for since rec. Is that somewhat correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Wes, you were not with these guys during middle school and before. Is that right?
No, I played 1 year of middle school with them.
Okay.
And then my 7th grade got canceled, which was their 8th grade.
Okay.
And then, so high school was my first time playing with them in a long time.
Okay. And then Ian, when did you come back to playing again? It was last year, correct?
Year, yeah.
Right. So how long of a break was that?
I stopped playing 6th grade. I went to the 6th grade practice, the middle school practice, and then the next practice I gave him my helmet. Said I'm all done.
Wow. Okay. But everyone else has been playing together right on through?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start, like I said, on the macro level, and then we'll get into you guys specifically. So we kind of debriefed before we talked about this, just so I don't put these guys on the spot. I want to talk about 8-man football as a whole. All right. So I think we talked with everyone. Everyone has played 11-man football at one point, correct? Yeah. So 8-man's not your first experience with football. So I guess the first question for you guys is, do you like 8-man more, less, or is it just quite literally a different game? Is it not comparable? Do you like 8-man better than 11-man? We'll start with that.
I'll go first. I like it more. I think you're more involved defensive-wise, from what I've seen.
Okay.
And you're just in on more tackles. You're in on more plays. You're more of a, you make a, what's the word?
So you can have
you're
more.
Involved.
You can kind of have more of an impact. Yeah. Okay. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. I didn't really notice a difference. I mean, we didn't get our 8th grade year, so we went from 7th grade to freshman,
right?
11-man to 8-man, and I didn't see a difference.
You didn't see a difference, and I'll talk about the coronavirus pause too. I want to talk about that. What do you think, Wes? How can you compare the two?
I didn't really notice much of a difference because we had that year off. I would say probably the main difference is the games are a lot more high scoring.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed.
I've noticed that quite a bit, and I think that's a good thing personally.
I think it brings more eyes to smaller schools like Old Orchard.
Absolutely. Riley, what do you think?
It's definitely defense is harder.
Okay.
You can't if you're playing pass coverage. There's less
there's
less
more
people that can guard
and there's more room, right?
Yeah. It's definitely faster, and I think football is football. So
okay, so regardless, yeah.
I mean, and then also the same kids that are playing basketball, in what class? Maybe Class C.
Class C
are playing against same athletes. So
yeah, okay. So it's really no difference in terms of who you're playing and
the
stuff
same
like that.
schools,
Yes,
no
right.
matter what sport you're
right. Brayden, what do you think?
I would say I don't notice a big difference. I would say it's pretty much near the same. I would agree with Ian, where I think each player has a bigger spotlight, but other than that, not a huge difference to me.
Okay, makes sense. So you guys obviously enjoy playing 8-man. I mean, it's cool when you win, so that probably helps a little bit.
Yeah.
So if again I'm from this town. I live in this town still. You guys obviously are still living here, playing here. We kind of talked about this, and you guys are probably aware. There's probably a minority, a vocal minority, but it's not most people. But they speak about 8-man not highly, right?
Yeah.
If you had to try to sell someone on why 8-man is still as legitimate as 11-man, how would you kind of sell people on that? Because I know some people just straight up won't come to games. Again, it's not many, but there are people who will straight up and discredited what you guys did last year because it's 8-man, it's not 11-man. What would you guys' reply be to someone who kind of said that?
Pull up film. Tell them to show up to the game. Show how hype they get. Especially our last couple games, that was ridiculous. We had half the town.
Yep.
2 hours away in Dirigo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our whole you were there.
Yep, I was there.
Our whole side was packed. It was so hype.
I will admit that having Ian on the team is one of the reasons why I started coming back watching games, but I loved going to the games during the season. I haven't gone back since 2016, even when my brother was playing. So that means something. So I'm sorry to cut you guys off. Yeah, talk a little bit more about that, how you sell someone on this.
I mean, check the stats. Small school 8-man was the most competitive this division in high school football last year.
Hey, wow, okay, so most people won't know that.
No, top 4 teams were the most competitive than any other division.
Okay. Yeah, I did notice there was a big discrepancy in like the Class A, Class B, like massive blowouts.
It's Oxford and TA.
Yeah.
And then
everyone else. Right. Wes, how about you, man?
I mean, I think if they were at the games and they saw, I don't think they'd even see much of a difference. The hits are the same.
Right.
Still snap the ball to whoever's getting the ball.
Right. Yeah, makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. Hey, seriously, it's true.
Yeah.
You even said it. Football is football. Anyone else want to speak upon that?
I think just that the fact that it's the same athletes, like it's the quarterback we played in the regional game.
Yeah.
Same kid that's playing point guard for.
I see what you mean.
I see like.
Yeah, there's nothing, you can't control who you play against. You can't control anything else. It's the same athletes. Would you say that it is a different, I understand that football's football, same deal. Would you say that it's kind of hard to compare 8-man to 11? Is that fair or no?
I mean, like, if you scale it down, the field's, like, with how many people, it's, like, comparatively speaking, the same with 8 versus 11. Like, 11, man, their field's much bigger.
Okay.
Or
Yep.
not much bigger, but it's, like, 60 feet across, 100 feet?
Yep.
8-man's 40 feet across and then 100 feet long.
That was the other thing I was going to ask. So the main difference with the field is narrower, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's obviously the same length.
Yeah.
What else is big differences with 8-man to 11-man? Like, what's the other changes? You guys talked about it beforehand. What's the like for offense and defense? Who's not on the field? Like, who are the 3 players that are not on the field?
You're cutting out 2 offensive linemen.
Okay.
So the guards basically become guards and tackles.
Okay.
And then one more skill position.
One more skill position.
That's 3.
And we talked about that could either be a back or a receiver.
Yeah.
And tight end, too.
Or tight end.
We
Okay.
did a lot of empty last year.
What?
Towards the end.
Now, what about defense? Who is it? Same deal?
On defense, it would be a defensive tackle, another defensive back, and then probably like we don't have outside linebackers
Yeah.
here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, that's interesting because obviously those are pretty hallmark positions to play when you are, like the tackles are probably the most important, and 11 when it comes to the linemen. The outside linebackers by far, especially for a middle defense, is going to be the most important position. So I guess there is differences there, but they're replaced because the field is shorter, and like you said, it scales to how many people are. So my personal take on it, I don't see a big difference. If I were playing, I would have loved to play 8-man. It was perfect for a player like me, and this is not about me, but I was definitely more like. Probably more like you than anything, Riley. Being able to be in space. I wasn't a ground and pound guy like my man Wes over here. But you could straight up fly. You had some nice plays at receiver as well. But yeah, I would have loved to play it, and I thought especially because I come from teams that just flat out sucked, and we definitely didn't have it. I was playing all 3 ways. I was playing every single way actually. So special teams, return, and so like kickoff, return, all that. You can't play that way. Like I envy you two who just played offense and stuff like that. Like I would have loved to do that, and just do returning and whatnot. You return a little bit, right? Yeah. Quick side tangent. Do you like kick returning or punt returning better, and why?
I think I like punt returning better.
Interesting. Everyone says that. I couldn't agree less. But tell me
I
why.
don't know why. I feel like maybe kickoff is more dangerous.
Okay, that's absolutely fair. Do you feel like that you can see the field a little bit better on punt returning? Because
it's
okay.
way more wide open.
Okay.
You got all these people running at you on kickoff.
Yep.
As opposed to like you can only like the whole middle of the field is pretty much open when you're returning a punt.
Okay, that's absolutely fair. I was primarily used your dad. So Brady's dad is the head. He's still head coach, correct?
Yeah.
That's his. Was my coach as well, and he primarily used me as a punt blocker. Which I thought was fucking sick. I used to love doing that, but I did return punts a little bit. I hated trying to gauge where the ball would go on a punt, and it was so hard to catch them.
I agree with that actually too.
You know what I mean? So anytime he was like, "Do you want to go for the block or do you want to return?" I'd say block every time because I just didn't want to be back there. Kick returns are a little bit easier, especially if you had a good kicker who can kick end over end. You just wait for it, and then you can just find a seam. All right, so let's move on from there. So you guys, obviously, we spoiled it in the lead here. We're state champions. Let's just be honest here. Day one of the season last year, so the 22 season, I guess you don't blend into 23. Who thought that you guys were going to, like, out of you guys, who thought they were going to win the state title? Raise your hand. Okay, so you guys didn't go into so you were hopeful, obviously. You go into the season.
I was confident. If you asked me like, are you guys gonna be good this year? I'd say yes.
Okay, so if I were to ask you, all right, were you going to...
Yeah, we had hype behind it. I remember at the beginning of the season, some kid from Maranacook was hyping us up.
Yeah.
We were in the papers. We were like, OB's the team to worry about.
Oh, okay.
And then a couple games in, we kind of got humbled by Dirigo.
And then Mount Valley bad.
really humbled
We got
us.
humbled bad.
So then it's like, you kind of take a step back, you're like, all right.
You started off 1-2, correct?
2-1 because we
2-1,
played
sorry.
Boothbay and then we played Mount Valley week 4.
2-2 start?
So we went 2-2.
Okay.
2 was our worst. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You guys thought you were going to be good, but you guys didn't know if you were going to be state championship good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think what was big was we wanted to win.
Yeah.
We didn't go in thinking we could win it.
Yeah.
But we wanted to.
Yeah, of course. And it was more realistic than it was in years past.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess let's reverse that a little bit. So 2022 was the season. You guys did not have a season the year before, correct? Okay, so they did, but it was the year before that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was 2020. You guys didn't have a season?
20.
No, it's 2020.
2020. It was
Yeah.
Because
2020.
the other team went to the States in 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they
we-
didn't have a season 2020, and then it came back in 21.
Yeah.
That 2020 season would have been crazy.
I was
Yeah.
going to say that probably would have been a good shot because obviously no one was on the 2019 team, right? No. Okay. The next thing I wanted to kind of talk about in reverse here is Old Orchard Beach did make a state title game and they unfortunately lost. You guys were probably watching that game.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I remember that. I remember everyone kind of saying that. So what was it like watching that game and then playing in it? Don't talk about the game itself. We'll get into that. But what was that kind of comparison like watching the game and then being a part of it a couple of years later?
It was different because there wasn't a large school and a small school then. So
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
they were playing Mount Ararat.
Mhm.
It was like they're a large
They're
school now.
class A in every other sport.
Okay.
So
They got. I don't want to say killed. They got blown out.
it
Correct.
was a cool game.
Yeah,
Okay.
they got beat pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But running back had
Yeah. Their running back won D1 in track. And
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah. That's crazy. So that was the first year in general of 8-man football,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So probably everyone was kind of catching up in terms of how do you play this game, what formations are best, and stuff
Right.
like that. So you guys didn't have a season. Did you guys play any football during the Corona time? Like, was there practices or anything like that?
No, we didn't have anything.
Okay. So what was that like? So what was the first sports season that was like available? Was it the next calendar year? You guys came back?
We had basketball that year, but we weren't able to play any
No
games.
real
I
game.
think it was actually baseball.
Baseball
Baseball?
was where you could compete with
Okay.
other schools.
Because it was outdoors?
We would just have practices against the 7th grade team
Okay.
or the 8th grade girls.
Right. Okay. So what was that like having pretty much a year without sports? Because you guys are. Does everyone play multiple sports?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are all athletes. So what was that like?
I remember me and him went to the field and I watched YouTube videos and do drills and stuff on our own, but
Yeah.
that was really that for football.
I think
Okay.
we that year that we had no football season, we played AAU basketball during the fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we did
play,
do
so we
that.
didn't play as a football.
Okay. Yeah. Not the same, obviously.
No.
But because I played fall AAU basketball. Fall AAU basketball sucked compared to spring. Spring is actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go. You guys didn't have the season. maybe you guys, I don't think we already did this. Tell everyone what class you guys are in, or what class you are going to be in for this season here. Let's start in reverse order. Brayden.
You want to say what class I'm going to?
Yeah, what grade you're going to be in.
I'm going to be a junior.
Okay, Ian.
Were you senior?
Junior.
Sophomore.
Junior.
Okay, so we have a mixed bag, I guess, in terms of seniority here. Ian being the oldest here, I guess technically, but you only played football for 1 year.
Yeah.
Leading into this, so it's kind of evens out here.
Like high school wise, I have the same experience as Wes on the field.
Exactly. So I was actually going to go to you, Wes. So you were only a freshman last year.
Yeah.
First of all, when Ian told me how young some of you guys were, I was like, oh my god, I didn't realize you guys had a bunch of more years left. What was it like playing on varsity? Because you played varsity as a freshman.
Yeah.
You played varsity as a freshman. Did anyone else?
Yeah.
You did as well? And so you guys all played varsity as a freshman. Ian, you didn't play as a freshman. Let's start with Wes first. What was it like playing varsity as a freshman? Was it like playing against 18-year-olds? Were you 14 or 15 back then?
I was 14 the entire season.
That's crazy. All right, so what was that like?
I mean, definitely compared to middle school, it was a very big change.
And you didn't have 1 year of middle school, right? So
No,
you had
I
7th.
played middle school the year before.
Okay,
I
the
played
year
my
before?
eighth grade.
Okay, 8th grade.
And I was like compared to all those kids, I was like huge compared to them. And then when I got to high school, and I was like average size, I wasn't easily able to
Run
by
people
all these
over.
kids.
Yep.
It was definitely at first I found it a little tough to make the shift, but
You did,
I think
okay.
near the end.
Yeah, of course. Near the end, you definitely clicked. Brady, what was it like for you? Because you were playing quarterback.
Yeah.
Probably the toughest position to play as a freshman, in my opinion.
I was also like 5'3", 115, playing
Right.
on quarterback.
Yeah.
And I also, that summer, I didn't train to be quarterback.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to play receiver.
Oh, okay.
So
That changes things.
I went into like camp, I guess, preseason, just like backup,
Oh, okay.
getting reps, and then I got the job.
Right. So what was the deal with that? Why did you train to be a receiver and then how did you end up being a quarterback?
Figured, well, so his dad like knew I played quarterback all throughout Pee Wee
Yep.
in middle school, so he like let me take some reps, and I mean I was throwing all right for like my size and age, and then I think he just rolled with the youth.
Okay, makes sense. Makes absolute sense. Like I said, in my opinion, that's the toughest position to play as a freshman. I'm trying to think. We had a couple people. No, I don't think we ever had someone who was even. We had someone play for a quarterback as a sophomore, and I doubt he's going to be watching this, and he sucked. So I can't imagine what it was like playing as a freshman, man, and being 14, playing against 18-year-old kids and whatnot. You played as a freshman.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? You were a receiver and D-back still.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was it like for you?
I had a pretty good freshman year. I was a lot of our offense was more like just straight running the ball, and then once in a while we'd hit that shot play to me.
Yep.
So then I had some deep touchdowns and stuff like that.
Now, did you guys play with Paye?
Yeah, he
Okay.
had like 50 carries. Like I wasn't as involved that year.
That
as
year?
I was. Like I would get brought in on like third downs to throw.
He ended up winning Player of the Year that year.
Yeah.
I remember because I wasn't going to games at that time. I would just look at the things in the paper, and I did see a game where he had 50 carries. I've never seen a player have 50 carries in a game. What was? We'll get to your experience as a freshman as well. I didn't forget, but what was that like being in an offense that was predicated on one person?
It was. I mean, it was so one-dimensional that our offense was so predictable. Where because we didn't really have anything else we could really do.
I was gonna say, was that kind of out of necessity? Because
Yeah.
okay.
So
Probably was not fun playing quarterback in that
No, it
system.
wasn't.
Yeah.
he would walk on the field and they'd be like, "Oh, they're
Yeah,
passing."
like it's passing, and I wasn't really I wasn't
okay.
a rushing threat either.
Oh, okay.
Like I would say last year, I was more of a I was able to run the ball too.
In the Dirigo game in particular, you ran phenomenally, I thought. Brayden, how about you? So you played. You said you played a little bit of offense, but I know you mainly as a defensive player.
Yeah,
Were you playing mostly defense as a freshman?
Yeah, I played mostly defense as a freshman. My initial experience wasn't good. Our first scrimmage, actually, we played this was the year that Chevrolet was an 8-man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we got absolutely dominated. So I think that was actually good though, because it was all easier competition from there on. But
Okay, so you kind of just took it to the face immediately.
First I remember I got absolutely killed by a DN.
Me and you hooked up for
Yeah, we had like
7 receptions,
he had like
100
8
yards.
catches for 100 yards against him.
Really?
So we
Okay.
showed like glimpses. but-
Yeah, there was glimpses
Didn't
there.
they win that year?
Yeah, they
What was
just
the score?
40-0.
So for anyone who's listening, Chevrolet, so it's when I was in high school, and then particularly like the decade before I was in high school leading up to it, like the biggest powerhouse program in the state when it comes to 11-man. All the D1 players were coming out of Chevrolet. All of like the premier guys, like I said, were coming out of there. It was them and TA. TA kind of held on to that. Chevrolet, obviously, not so much. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. Let's go to you, Ian. So what was it like? I have two things I kind of want to go into that involve you and involve Wes. Your first year playing high school football, you won a state championship. There is nowhere to go but down now. What's that dynamic like? Because I never won anything when I was in high school. So,
I mean, not trying to be cocky, but like that's all I know.
All you know is winning, right?
Winning.
That's true. That's why I said it's like the only place you can go now is down.
It's true.
For all of you guys, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
You don't even think about it.
yeah.
That makes sense. I want to talk. So, Wes, obviously, you were a freshman last year. You won a state title.
Yeah.
Again, quite literally, there is nowhere to go but down now.
Yeah.
If you don't win a state title, quite literally, it's looked at as a waste of a season. I don't think it's looked at as a waste of a season. I think mentally, for some people, it might be. What's that like coming into this year? Do you feel like you got to win a state title every year now?
I would say I feel like we're always going to be a competitive team,
Mm-hmm.
but there's always going to be teams that can also easily go win state championships. Like,
Kind of like you guys.
Yeah.
Kind of came out of not at nowhere, but you guys.
Yeah.
Most people didn't pick you guys to win it all.
Yeah, we're definitely underdog.
We
Right.
beat the two teams that beat us.
Yeah,
to get
exactly.
there, so.
We'll get into that. So let's talk about the regular season. So you guys did not have a blistering start. You won your first game, correct?
Yeah.
Who was that against?
Traip.
Traip.
Okay, so we'll talk about Traip Academy first. So Traip Academy stereotypically was a doormat. All right, so when I played, we still managed to lose to them once in basketball. We always beat them in football, but they weren't too good, were they?
That's basically like a scrimmage. Like
Yeah.
You were at that game, right? You got hyped that game.
That's what made me keep coming back to games. Ian absolutely smacked a kid on kickoff twice, and he didn't do it the third time because I think he felt bad, but it was tough to watch. You guys ended up playing them twice that year, right? It was
No,
just
we played
once.
them once.
Okay.
we play them week 1 again this year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Don't laugh. You know, I mean, these kids might be watching. They might be have your number. So, who was the second game?
Dirigo.
Hey, Dirigo. We'll get into the very end of how Dirigo happened. Someone talk about. Are you guys aware of the Dirigo curse?
Oh yeah.
Okay. What do you guys know about the Dirigo curse before any of that?
I mean, with my father being the coach, I always went to playoff games or any regular season game that involved Dirigo.
Mm-hmm.
And Thomas, when like your team,
Yep.
you played. I remember, what's a kid named Riley Robinson?
That's Riley
quarterback?
Robinson. Yep.
He was good.
He was good, but I did catch a touchdown over him. I don't know
You
if you
did?
remember that.
I don't really remember much that game, but
I absolutely did. Mossed I was.
just
You said you were
every year-
5'3". I was 5'4", and I just mossed them. But anyway.
every year it was just like very close games, but we just couldn't ever beat them.
Absolutely. And we talked about it in the first episode that we did with Ian. Essentially what would happen is it would be a close game every single time. It would come down to the final play, and something weird would happen for us, and we would lose the game
Yeah.
every single time. And it was almost as if you could write the ending. We would come back. It would look like we were going to win. This was finally going to be the time, and we would fucking lose.
Yeah, even week 2 of last year,
Yeah.
we at the Dirigo game, we had that stupid play where they were kicking and we blew the center.
Yeah.
We couldn't do the
We
center.
would have had a shot.
We would have had a shot.
What was the
but
deal? You blew center? What
We
does that
just
mean?
Yeah.
protected long snapper,
Okay.
and two people blew right through him. Me being one of them. The yellow flag goes.
That's tough.
Like I remember we ran a play, and again I threw a pick, of course, on the fade route to him,
Yeah.
and then it was a 3-and-out,
Yep.
and we would have had I think 45 seconds left with
Yeah.
a timeout or two,
Mm-hmm.
and we're like, okay, I was like, all right, let's go. Like I'm not gonna fuck this up again.
Yeah.
And then I just see
Yep.
every ref
Yeah.
throw the flag. I was just like,
Didn't
of
even get a
course,
chance, yeah.
of course.
That makes sense. What do you about you, Brayden? What do you know about Dirigo, or what's your mindset when you play a Dirigo team?
You're going into the game, you just know every time, like it's never going to be an easy game. They're always going to be there in the end to have a chance to win. And so going into every time we play them, we just know we have to stay focused the entire time because freshman year, actually, we were beating them, I think, 32-8 at halftime.
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
And we blew a lead, and they came back and beat us on our homecoming game.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
34-32.
God, so you guys didn't score after that?
Offensive pass interference. That's
Really?
that's how the game ended.
See, and it always ends with a call.
And it
You know what I
wasn't
mean?
like it was. We watched film, picture.
That's
Was
crazy.
not offensive pass interference.
Yep, and I'm sure you guys are aware of the fumble. You probably are, maybe not you guys. The fumble that they intentionally fumbled into the end zone so they
Yeah.
could, and they ended up winning. When I played, a kid named Brian Roberts was the quarterback. Called a play at the end. So again, we have the whole system, 11, 12, so 1 gap, 2 gap. He called 12, ran through the 11, fumbled, and we ended up losing. Just a crazy, crazy series of events, and it happened every single time. Even happens in other sports, basketball even as well. Who was, so you guys lost that game. Who was number 3 that year?
Boothbay.
Boothbay was the 3rd game?
Yeah.
You guys ended up winning that one pretty easily.
They're just physical.
They're-
We
I-
get
one of-
beat up after that game.
One of those like them and Sacopee.
Sacopee,
Two least
yeah.
favorite teams to play, just because they have no remorse for like.
Absolutely.
They have no morals.
I
Yeah.
felt like when I was playing Boothbay, I felt like they were playing like backyard football.
Yeah.
Really?
Like they would have like 3 running backs in the backfield, and I would be on defense, and I could see them like whispering to each other what they were going to be doing on the play.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. So that one, again, they're physical, but you guys ended up winning pretty handily,
Yeah.
right? Who was number 4 that year? Who's that?
Mount Valley.
Mount Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mountain Valley, they ended up being number 1 seed going into playoffs,
Undefeated,
correct?
Yeah.
They were a very good team.
Very
Yeah.
good.
So what was that game like?
Hell.
The first one?
Yeah, the first
Well,
one.
It was cold.
We showed up. It was the coldest game of the year.
We showed up
We
late.
showed up. We had like 30 minutes.
Why did you guys show up late?
So they do. Was it their homecoming? I think it was their
No, it
homecoming.
wasn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
They had a fair or something. We got rerouted.
Yeah. So we got rerouted.
So there's
It was,
30 minutes in the warm up on the field. We're getting off the bus because we have to go to the high school to change. Get
And
back
get
on
back
the
on the
bus,
bus.
fully geared, drive to the Mountain Valley.
Yeah.
They have a separate field in high school.
And they're already
It was a 25-degree game in September, too.
they're already warm. It was,
And what was it? 50 mile per hour winds.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Wow.
very strong winds.
So I was going to say, so that takes you, because you guys are a really good throwing team,
Yes,
so that
yeah,
takes you out.
Favored them a lot.
Okay, and they were. I didn't get to see either Mountain Valley game last year, which sucked because I was away. But what primarily did they play on offense? Were they the double wing team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trip. What was it? Trip. It's a T
It's
wing.
Wing T.
Wing
Yeah,
T.
wing T.
Okay, so
Yeah.
primarily wing T, but they ran a lot of like motion stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay.
They was-
All misdirection, yeah.
They would have like a running back and a quarterback who were standing like,
neck and neck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
but not like a running back to the side of the quarterback. They were both.
I know exactly what you mean.
They
Yes.
would catch the ball. Either of them could catch the ball and run, or hand it off to someone.
We're both
And then
favored
they would have
catches.
Right.
some guy motioning, which they could like turn around,
Yeah.
hand it off to the guy next to him, or hand it off to there, or keep it.
It'd just be a 3-way cluster.
Yeah.
And one would go out and one would come straight through.
Yeah,
You
and
should
they were-
know who got the ball.
they were
that
good.
Game, that game got tricked every time.
Every time.
They were
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
They were good runners.
So we had
Like,
people running all over here, and the balls over here running for a touchdown.
Yeah, and that's always so embarrassing too, isn't it?
And they were still good defensive wise. They had some great tacklers.
Right.
Yeah. We showed because there was like one side where we had to win with us,
Yep.
so we could throw on that side, but still like it would either get taken out of bounds.
Yep. Yep.
And then going down the other way, like I remember I went to go throw like a flat route to fullback,
Yep.
and it died.
Yeah.
Like
it's
it
tough.
got stuck in midair and it dropped.
That's crazy.
So I was like, we're going to have to play their type of game.
Their game, and that suits them better.
That suits them way better.
Yeah, so like that's a very stereotypical high school thing. Like I don't want to say this. I say this in the most respectful way possible. Teams that don't have like the greatest skill guys typically will play like wing T, double wing, because it's not an easy offense because it's very intricate. It's easier to have people just behind a wall of blockers
Big plays.
than it is doing motion and like quick slants and stuff like that. We played a lot of teams. Maranacook, back when I played, was a double wing team, and then Oak Hill. Oak Hill was the big team. Does Oak Hill in small school?
No.
Okay. They were the powerhouse. They're in
They're
D.
D.
Yeah.
In D.
My last year of playing, we were in D, and they were always the powerhouse, and they ran a double wing, and they'd always have the one person in motion, and the primary play would be the toss to that person, and you would have a wall of 11 guys, including the quarterback being a lead blocker. Then every once in a while, they'd have, the fake, and then the other person, like kind of you talking about, every single person's over here, and there's a kid running for a 70-yard touchdown on that side. So that's frustrating, right? So you guys, the two best teams that you guys played, you both lost.
Yeah.
Right. So that probably your confidence wasn't at the apex yet. Who is the next game after Mountain Valley?
Maranacook homecoming.
Maranacook homecoming. So I was at that game. It was a really fun game to watch. How did that one end up going?
We controlled the whole game. We had stupid mistakes.
Penalties, right?
I'm off to a snap under center. A snap went over our running back's head.
I remember that.
Into the end zone.
Yep.
We thought it was going to be a better game because looking at they had a really good fight with Dirigo.
They beat Dirigo.
They beat Dirigo. We lost to Dirigo. So I was like, oh shit, we're gonna have to do something.
This is gonna be a dogfight, but
we did really well that game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when I watched that, I was like, wow, these guys are pretty good. Because I remember you telling me that this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a close one. I was like, wow, okay. Then you guys definitely have a shot playoff-wise. That was homecoming. Who ended up winning the Regina? Do they still do that?
Was it you?
The offensive player?
It's offense and defense.
You
got defense, you got offense. So that's for most outstanding in the homecoming game.
Yeah.
So you won defense?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're brothers here. I had an interception as well. I shared it with my friend Joe Anderson, who also had a pick. You probably know Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably remember Joe too. Yeah. Joe's in the military now.
Shout out Joe.
Yeah, shout out Joe Anderson. Who's after that?
Sacopee.
All right, so
At Sacopee.
Sacopee at Sacopee. Sacopee Valley, stereotypically throughout the years, was a doormat. They actually stopped playing football for a full year because they didn't have enough people to field an 11-man team.
Yeah.
Every single time we'd play Sacopee, we'd let them into the game because we couldn't take them seriously because they were so bad that we'd play down to their level. I don't know if that's still the case. I don't know if they're still as bad, but that would always be the case. How did that game end up going?
That was a weird game.
We started off kind of bad. We couldn't really get anything going on offense for a while, and then we just started.
And then, blowing them out. Do you remember roughly what the final score was?
48-6.
Yeah.
They
had one touchdown, but it was when all of our people who don't really get playing time were in.
That's fourth quarter touchdown.
Yeah.
Same thing with Traip.
I know we need to get the young guys some experience and the guys who don't play as much. How do you guys feel about that when you guys have a shutout and then the second team or third team lets up a touchdown? Do you care at that point?
Not really.
A little annoying.
Yeah, okay.
It would have been cool to have on the
stat
sheet.
Yeah, exactly. They
It's
shut out.
fun watching the younger players too.
Yeah, that's fair. I personally hated it, so I'm more with you because you do this whole you pitch the shutout, you know what I mean, and then it's not reflected. But I do agree in the sense of you need to get those guys ready, you know what I mean, because I think we felt victim. We were very top heavy, and then everything dropped off of a clip after those guys were gone. I understand that. So you guys were rolling at this point. Who's the next game? Telstar. Another stereotypical doormat when I was playing. They were pretty good though, weren't they? Roughly.
So our freshman year, they were
really good.
They were good.
Yeah.
They pretty sure they finished undefeated.
That's crazy because
They lost to Maranacook because
They ended up losing in the playoffs, but they were defeated regular season.
yeah, they had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
So they had pieces.
Yep.
But they didn't work great together this
Okay.
year. So
What was the score for that one?
was that the shutout?
No,
Yeah,
shutout was the playoff game. The first playoff game.
So you guys played them 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
Yeah.
48-6.
We flipped the coin.
I was don't spoil that. I was gonna talk about that. So we played Dirigo, we blew them out. Now it's playoff time, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So
No,
that's
played
Telstar.
Telstar and blew 'em out. Yeah.
Telstar and blew 'em out. Who did I just say?
Dirigo.
So you played Telstar, blew 'em out, and then you're into playoffs. So that's what, 7 regular season games?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the deal with this coin flip thing? Why did you guys have to flip a coin? What was the deal with that?
So we beat Dirigo. So us. No, I'm sorry. Us, Dirigo, Maranacook finished 5-2.
Okay, so everyone had the same record.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dirigo beat us.
Go be you guys.
We beat Maranacook.
Yep.
Maranacook beat Dirigo.
Oh, so quite literally there was
So,
no tiebreaker.
yeah.
Okay.
There was no tiebreaker. So we flipped the
We
coin.
got the worst odds.
Of course, we get the worst odds, right? We get
I
the
think
fourth seed.
that did good though.
And it played up for us.
Yeah, it panned out very
Okay.
nicely.
Undefeated Mountain Valley.
Week 2.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
we blew out Telstar first week, which gave we started playing Mountain Valley, but they had the bye.
Yeah,
were
they
coming
had
off 2
6.
weeks.
They had 16 days off.
Okay, so we'll talk about that. I think that probably screwed them up more than anything, right?
Because Traip.
Yes.
Traip backed out.
Forfeited, yeah.
Yes,
forfeited.
exactly. I remember you saying that. So you guys ended up playing Telstar for your first playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you just blown them out the week before. Are you guys going into that game pretty confident? Are you at least a little apprehensive? did we blow everything in the first game? Do they know our tricks now?
They started off that game. I mean,
They started off
They
good.
started off good.
Yeah, I think they stopped us twice,
We-
and they were driving.
We were on
us
like
too,
They were
yeah.
getting annoyed.
their 10-yard line, about to punch it in.
Right.
And,
Yeah, we definitely
didn't
came out flat, and then we realized
Very
we
flat.
got to get it together.
we didn't
We're
convert
gonna
on
lose.
a
Okay,
4th down, so.
absolutely.
I feel like we had a lot of games where offense kind of went like a steady it.
Right.
It started off weak, but
Yeah.
it did get better at the end of the game.
If there's anything that you want, you definitely want to peak for the second half, but it just
Right.
sucks because it makes everything so much more nerve-wracking. You know what I mean? All right, so that playoff game was a wash. You guys now go into Mountain Valley, right? So Mountain Valley's number 1 seed. They haven't lost a game yet. Traip forfeited, so they didn't get their first playoff game, correct? Would that have been a playoff
Yeah.
game or regular season?
Playoff.
Playoff. So they're coming off of...
We're
sorry.
at Mountain Valley too.
And you're at
Yeah.
Mountain Valley. You've lost
for
there.
the second time.
For the second time you've lost there. And, of course, they're undefeated.
They were
And
very cocky.
were they really?
I remember they ran through a sign because that was around when Halloween was.
Yep.
And the sign said "Trick or treat, prepare for defeat."
Trick or treat, smell
Yeah.
defeat.
Trick or treat, smell defeat.
Do you know what's interesting?
That pissed me off.
I would imagine when I was in you guys' shoes, when I would see stuff like that like pisses me off. And then you hear about it like, I wouldn't say I'm like that old, much older compared to you guys, but you hear that and it's like, who fucking cares? You know what I mean? But you need to use stuff like that for motivation. But all right, so we get into the game. You guys lost the first one. What was the score for the first one again? I'm sorry.
48-20.
48-22.
So really not that close.
No.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
people probably.
I
Sorry,
think,
you're
I
gonna say.
think we scored at the end too.
Yeah, we had like
It was
we had a
worse
garbage
than
time
that.
touchdown.
Okay. Most people probably did. Do you guys know of anyone besides you guys who expected to win? Did anyone pick you guys to win?
No.
Probably not.
Lisa
way.
DeSisto,
Okay.
a Portland Press Herald. Shout out Lisa.
Okay. She picked.
She picked us.
I'm very interested as to why she thought you guys would win. Maybe it was just to be different.
We were, yeah. I mean,
Everybody else was across the board now.
yeah.
So,
We were like kind of on fire too.
Right.
Like-
Absolutely.
We haven't lost a game since week 4.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys go into that game. What's your thought process leading into it? Are you apprehensive again because like, man, these guys blew us. I guess kind of blew you guys out, and you're at their place. They're undefeated. You guys go into that game expecting we have nothing to lose. They have everything, to lose. Like,
Yeah,
what's the
I think
mindset?
that's
How do you guys
why-
come into the
I
game?
think I think our coaches had a good game plan.
Yeah.
We had a
Great game.
we had a really good week of practice.
Yeah. Except that, like, this is like
We
another
don't gotta go
story.
with the last practice.
Our last practice before Mount Valley was our worst practice of
awful?
the year.
Was
Horrible.
it indoors?
No, it was outdoors.
No,
Remember?
What was it? The indoor one was the day before.
Yeah, we had like
I missed out a lot.
back to back really bad practices.
Is that when you got kicked out?
No, I got okay.
All right.
I
Wes,
got-
why'd you get kicked out?
By his dad.
I got kicked out during preseason.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Wes's father is also a coach as well. I think we said yours is, but
Yeah.
why did you get kicked out?
Because I just kept messing up the coverages.
He was playing safety.
Back
I was
when
playing
he's still on
safety at that
defense.
point.
Yeah.
And I just kept messing up the coverages. And then at one point he would just like he just yelled and he was like get off the fucking field.
Oh wow, okay. At the very end, I want to talk about you guys, your dynamics having father as a coach,
Yeah.
because I think that's interesting. So, beside the point, we kind of got a tangent there. You guys are going into this game. You guys had a good game plan. Didn't have the last two practices weren't good, but you felt prepared. Preparing for that game, I guess right before it. Are you guys nervous? Like, or do you feel like you have?
Very.
You're nervous for Traip.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, very,
Okay,
very
so
nervous.
are you more nervous because it's a playoff game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, first game we showed up 30 minutes early. This game we showed up 2 hours early.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
remember I was like sitting. I didn't want to change because it was so early. I was scrolling on Instagram. We were so early. We were just chilling.
Yeah.
And we'll eventually talk about that too, what you guys do pregame. But the game gets going. You have kickoff. What I'm interesting as to why you laughed at that. The game gets going. How does the game start? How does it flow? Obviously, we know you guys were state champions, so you guys ended up winning. How did that game end up going?
We were on offense first, and right? Yeah, we were on offense.
3 and out.
We went no. Yes, we did. We did go 3 and out.
We had
It was.
we had a 3rd and 2, and then we had too many men on the field. It was a 3rd and 7. And then we,
Yeah.
I'd imagine that I didn't get to go to this one. I imagine the crowd's probably going pretty crazy at this point, right?
Yeah, crowd's like loud, like up in Rumford.
Yeah.
You know,
That's all they have on
yeah,
Friday
that's what they have.
Yeah.
Like Friday night, the town shuts down.
So their stands are packed out, and they got people standing on the track.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, Dirigo's pretty much like that too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just 5 minutes away from each other. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
yeah. You go to a bridge, you take a left, you're going to a Mountain Valley. You take a right, you're on to Dirigo.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right. So you guys started off slow on offense. How did it go after that?
Our next defensive position was good. I think the first play I had like a tackle for loss, like -6 yards, and then we were like,
You could tell the momentum. Like everybody was.
There was a fire in us tonight. Like,
Really?
They weren't used to being. They weren't used to being shut down.
Like their
that.
first play against us the first game, 94-yard touchdown.
Right. Yeah.
This time they go back 6 yards.
And you could see their body language. Like
We were
they never been like they never even been.
They were undefeated, right?
Yeah.
So they probably weren't really pressed the most of the season, and this
I
is
don't
the
think all
first
season
time.
they were ever was in a
No,
losing.
they weren't ever. I don't think
No,
they
they never
Going
like.
into that halftime, they were losing.
Absolutely.
It was
So 6-0.
It was a slow game though. The first half it was only 6.
Very.
Only one
Wow.
touchdown hole.
Yeah,
And
we
you
were
would-
super fired up though.
But you
Yeah.
guys would think that like a 6-0 game would favor them, not you
Yeah.
guys, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So we get into the second half. They are up. You guys are up 6-0.
We're
right there.
up.
They came
Okay.
right out of the second half though and came down and scored on us. Though.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's 8-6.
Got the 2-point conversion too.
They were winning.
But then we had like another, like, I don't know. It was like an 8-play drive,
Okay.
but we didn't score.
We didn't score. Yeah, I think.
And then he got an interception.
Okay.
And then I remember we came back and it was like a 64-yard touchdown,
Awesome.
which was like,
That's like the momentum swinger right
Yeah.
there, right? Yeah. Was there any more scoring after that? How did that game end
Yeah,
up?
we had
What was the
two-
ending to that game?
we had 2 more rushing touchdowns.
drove right down the field.
Yeah, like we
they scored one more time on their last drive. The game was over at that point.
yeah. Then
They went into their spread.
Yeah, they.
Yeah.
If they went into that at halftime, I think it
would-
would have been different.
Yeah.
Because they were putting some yards on
Yeah,
us.
they had because the whole year they were totally committed to that one offense that they had, and
Yep.
we had to completely stop that. So they went to something completely different that they never ran.
That yeah,
And they're
that-
probably not used to running it that
Yeah.
often,
That's-
right?
That's why I talked about. I think the coaches had a really good game plan.
Yeah.
Something to do with we wouldn't overcommit. We would only go like 1 yard over the line of scrimmage, where
Yep.
we would like just be like kind of waiting for all these because there was all these different
Wow,
options
okay.
that would come.
Yes, exactly.
The first game we were kind of like trying to like everybody was trying to just see where the ball was going, but the
Yep.
second one we were all like I had an assignment for one guy I was watching, like everybody had one guy, so
Right.
there's no, we couldn't really get fully tricked the first game. We'd fully commit to one and then it'd be wide open.
I see. So,
Touchdown, yeah.
so there was more of a commitment to assignments defensively.
Yeah.
The second game, kind of is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Stopping each.
It was like a
separate
zone
option.
tackling type.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was interesting.
Yeah,
but it worked.
absolutely. And I mean, obviously, you need to switch something up because the first game obviously was not the result
Yeah.
that you wanted. So you guys ended up winning that one. What was it like winning against the 1 seed? Because like you said, not many people expected you guys to win. After you win that one, are you kind of like, man, like we could do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it then or was it the next one?
No,
I
was
think
like,
it was then.
Okay.
I think that was my favorite game this season. That was the most fun I had playing.
yeah.
For
Mount
myself.
Valley?
Yeah.
No, mine was Dirigo.
Yeah, me
Okay.
too.
Well,
Mine
for
was
Deer-
not
for
Dirigo.
Dirigo for me is like it's never a fun game because we're always like
It's stressful.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's never fun.
And we're going to talk about, I messaged you on Instagram. I want to talk about the play that you made.
Yeah.
So after that game, you guys are riding on a high. The week after is Dirigo, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
At
so
Dirigo again.
at Dirigo, because you guys drill the 4 seeds. You guys are on the road for all of these games, besides
Yeah.
besides
Besides
Telstar.
Telstar.
This is our fourth time driving 2 hours up there.
Yeah.
That's
driving
good.
up to
The
there.
4th time that year going up to there. So the way, again, we talked about in our first episode, Dirigo is kind of interesting how they have like every single person in the town comes to the game. So that's cool. I think it's cool personally.
Yeah.
Everyone pretty much from Old Orchard was there.
Yeah.
I saw people I haven't seen in 5 or 6 years there. Pretty much everyone's on the field. Like
Yeah.
we were-
Everybody's so close.
Exactly. Like we're on ground level with you guys. So usually we're seeing from the top down.
What jersey did you have on?
I had the Deion Sanders prime time on, just because I wanted to just make sure that, it's a good luck charm. All right. So anytime I have my 21 on, it's a good luck charm. So I remember riding up with my brother and I was like, and I swear to God, I was like, I think they're going to do this. And I just had a weird feeling that you guys were going to do it. I knew how close the first one was. I knew the curse and whatever. And I was like, this has got to be the time. There's no better time than now. You guys are going into this game. We already talked about the curse. What was the mindset leading into it? Do you guys have a good week of practice for that one?
I don't really.
I think it was great.
Was there?
I don't think we really had any like fantastic practices and
Wow.
playoffs.
There was one indoor practice. I don't remember what week it was, but there was one indoor practice we had that was really bad.
We ended early.
It was
Your dad slammed the clipboard and we
Yeah,
ended early.
yeah, we ended it early.
It was I messed up. Right.
It's a tough one for Wes, man. You're killing it on the field, but I guess your dad never gave you any.
How were the drive homes?
No, we'll talk about it later, man. Let's not get into that. So you guys are going into that game. What was the game plan different for this one? You guys said Mountain Valley was.
It was totally different. Yeah.
What was the difference for this one?
Late.
The only thing I remember was first game you were 25 the whole time, right? And then the last time it didn't matter, right? Whatever side he was on.
And that started to play out well. Like by the second half, I was strictly on him again.
Mm-hmm.
But
So 25 was their best receiver.
yeah, we had him playing outside.
I was playing far corner the first game.
Oh, okay. And you're a backer.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we had the first game. Our tackling wasn't there. I don't think we really had our identity yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
As a defense.
If you remember that their quarterback, they had that big quarterback.
Yes, exactly.
He ran all over us the first game. That's what closed it out for them that first game.
And he was a good basketball player, correct?
Yeah.
So he was kind of like the Riley
Back-to-back.
Robinson. Kind of like the Riley Robinson. Yeah.
That's like why I thought.
Two-time state champ in basketball.
He won the first one on a fadeaway 3-game winner.
Okay, so so it's pretty much the same parallel. And Riley Robinson played quarterback, so clearly from the same, not bloodline, but same pedigree, I guess.
Yeah.
So that I remember watching that kid play, and he was a lot bigger than pretty much everyone playing quarterback. And you guys did a really good job of shutting him down. He still got yards. He still was able to complete passes, but not nearly as much as what you guys kind of said for the first one. So I was there for this game, so I know how it went. But for the people who didn't, how did that beginning game kind of go?
We were losing going into half, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
16-6.
it started off, we drove right down, and I got cut in half, lost the ball.
Right.
And it was like, I was walking up the field.
Uh-oh. What was the deal with that one, Wes?
Then I fumbled the next drive.
Yeah.
we drove down.
We drove down. We got to 20 every time.
all
So
times.
I was like going off the field. Obviously, I was like pissed at myself. I'm like, all right, we're able to drive on them.
Yeah.
Just don't like be smart. Go down.
Yes, exactly.
You're not,
why I was
like
really-
I'm not gonna lower my shoulder and truck somebody again.
Right.
I was feeling the Dirigo curse right there.
You were feeling it?
About
Yeah.
My first experience was he talked about our freshman year where I think I had 3 first half touchdowns. So that was my biggest game.
Yep.
And we lost with the comeback.
Right, exactly.
So I was thinking like
It's going to happen again.
wow.
Yes, exactly.
And to think that we could have been up 2 scores at a minimum.
Right. So it's 16-6 going to halftime, correct?
Yeah.
Again, me and my brother, who are obviously cousins of Ian, we're like sitting there and we're like, not the best start, but we were like kind of thinking, we're like, I don't know, they don't even look. It was a very interesting game. I thought you guys were almost outplaying them for everything besides the red zone.
Yeah.
And it ended up flipping in the second half. What kind of happened what was, do you guys remember what the second half, what the halftime speech or what you guys were talking was like?
It wasn't good at all. I'm not gonna say who, but we had people on our team crying. Like,
During halftime?
Yeah.
I'm not a captain.
Yeah.
But like I remember like telling people, I was like, all right, you guys need to quit being a bunch of pussies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, get your head out your ass.
The move is not good at that. Like, and then I
I
think
can't believe people were crying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was
it was
like.
bad.
I was like,
Yeah.
are you serious right
That's
now?
interesting. Okay.
It's not like we're down 36.
And then I think to start off the second half, they were driving down again.
Then they score.
And at that point, I was.
That's what made it 16-6. We were down 8-6
I don't even-
at half.
Okay, that's what it was.
I don't even think that we
Yeah.
were really like thinking about like. I personally, I wasn't thinking about winning. I was just like, I'm just gonna leave everything out there.
So you're just thinking about finishing the
I
game
just don't want
strong.
any
at that
regrets.
point.
I think it was fourth quarter, 16.
Yeah,
Right?
16-6.
We did a lot in that fourth quarter.
We did. Yeah, we had a lot.
Right.
Happen in that fourth
For
quarter.
myself,
You with the fumble.
I like when I'm playing. I think it's really smart to like. So I try to just be in the present moment.
Yeah.
Not worry about mistakes I made in the past. Or,
Yeah.
or what the outcome of the game's gonna be. I
Absolutely.
try to do everything I can now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I wasn't
You weren't even worried
I
about what
wasn't
was
getting
happening for you.
emotional or thinking about like.
That was a tough game for me.
Right.
Yeah, that was my worst game of the season.
You thought it was your worst game of the season?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had 4 turnovers.
I see. Like I remember the last one, obviously, but I
Yeah,
remember the
that
fumble. I don't remember the other 2.
So,
but you ran a couple touchdowns. One.
I had 1 touchdown.
I thought that was
one
an awesome
touchdown
run.
pass.
Yeah.
But I was like, so
You caught a touchdown. Yeah.
second quarter, I went to go throw a fade, and it got picked off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
Okay, I do remember
all right,
that, yep.
like I gotta stop forcing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I threw a hitch route to him,
Mm-hmm.
and he got like 12, 15 yards
Yep.
off of it. So a play went by, and we went back to a hitch route. So I didn't look off the linebacker. Threw it, got picked off. My only tackle of the season. So I was like,
That saved us though.
I was going like into every possession. I was like, all right, like I can't be playing any worse. Like
Right.
it's only up from here.
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
Then I was like, as a quarterback, I need to stay like composed.
You have
I
to.
can't lose my shit or else.
Absolutely,
it's
because
gonna
if
go.
you melt down, then everyone else is melting down. So was the touchdown to you the first touchdown after? So that was a crazy play. It was tipped.
Yeah.
You caught it and then ran it in.
Yeah.
Do you remember the play call there? What was that?
Was it Hojo?
Yeah, it was Hojo.
Okay, what's Hojo? Tell everyone what Hojo is.
It's
The outside receiver's on a hitch route, and the inside receiver's on a jet.
Yeah.
Like just a straight fade.
Yep.
Yeah. And I like the hitch was probably open, and I was like, we need
Need something.
We need something.
Right.
I trust, and it was against like, I'm not trying to sound mean, but it was against their lesser corner.
Right.
So
I mean,
was
that's a
like,
real thing. That's how football is. Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna take a shot. Worst comes to worst, I don't think he's gonna
Pick it off. Right,
on
yeah.
Wes, and Wes tipped it backwards and
The
scored.
first positive break you guys had the
First
entire
positive-
game.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, we caught a break against Dirigo.
I will say, when you caught that, I was like, this could happen, right? Because we never have positive breaks against Dirigo. And when we had one, I was like, it could happen. What was after that? So you guys brought it to within, was that one score or two scores at that point?
One score.
One score. Okay, so what happens after that?
Well, so Shiloh picked the ball off.
Shout out Shiloh, by the way.
Shout out
We
Shiloh.
wish you were coming back, bro.
Yeah. He got an interception.
He was lit after that.
Yeah.
He was Mr. Lit the entire year.
So we got the ball back, and we went 3 and out. Yeah.
Gave it right back. That was,
Gave it
that was
right
kind of
back.
like a killer.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they got the ball back, and that's when he got the fumble.
The fumble, and we'll lay some of these on the stream itself. So like I said, so I've been saying this before, Riley. You made like the craziest play I've ever seen a high school player make, because I don't think many people have the presence of mind in that situation. Most people are just trying to get the kid down. You have the presence of mind to actually bat the ball out. Obviously, you guys know you need the ball back, but I just feel like most people are just going to either have the kid fall out of bounds or tackle him. What was going through your mind there? When he was coming at you, are you like, I'm going to try to strip this? Or was it like a reaction?
So throughout the game, they saw what I did freshman year receiving. So I was like, they always prioritize like shutting me down as a receiver.
I was going to say, you didn't touch the ball much that game.
I wasn't having a bad game, but I wasn't having a good game. So, I mean, what can I do to help my team? So, I didn't like purposely try to, I'll be honest, I wasn't like, oh, I see this ball, I'm going to grab it.
Yeah.
The way I grabbed them, and I was coming off a block.
Highly Provencher, the tackle and the strip at the 25, keeping
And I just remember grabbing it, and I grabbed the underhand.
Yep.
And we were just kind of fighting. Spun around, and then I just pulled it out like that.
Okay.
And it dropped down straight to the ground. He's taller than me. way taller.
Yep.
So when we both go down to the ground, his torso just goes to my head.
Right.
So I have an advantage there.
Exactly.
So I just fall on the ball, and I remember he ran in.
Yep.
The other guy that was trying to fight with the ball for him, I just pinned him right off.
That's awesome. That's it for your dogs right there. Yeah, that was crazy because, like, again, we never get positive breaks against Dirigo.
Yeah.
And you have 2 now. And that one really swung the game because obviously now you have an opportunity to go down and tie or lead or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was 16-12 at that point, I think.
Right, exactly. And one person I want to shout out that's obviously not here and won't be a part of the team next year because he graduated. I thought Elijah.
Yeah, shout out. I was gonna do the same thing.
Exactly. He had the drive of the century. I think it was it right after that?
Yeah.
Yeah. He pretty much put you guys. I think you guys wouldn't have too much pride to admit. He put you guys on his back.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
the
he
smallest
did.
guys on the field. He's running through. He's taking massive hits every single time.
Yeah, he got suplex a couple times too.
He was one of my favorite guys to watch.
Yeah.
And breaks a few big ones. You guys are down there, and you guys eventually score. What was the play that you guys scored on?
It was a QB draw.
Exactly.
So and usually QB draw, you're right up the middle. So I probably ran that 10 times that game.
But they
So
sent Holton.
so they had the 2 linebackers. They were doing 4 defensive backs.
Okay.
2 linebackers, 2 down linemen.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
they were like, all right, we're gonna shut down your pass. When I went in.
Yep.
So they lined their defensive tackles up at DN, and they sent both of their middle linebackers through the A gaps.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to get around outside. So I I get the ball. I'm running. I see like he's big. He's like 6'5". I see his arm reach out. I was just like, all right, I got to get out of there. So like, I'm like this.
Yep.
I finally like get outside.
And there was like green grass from there,
green
right?
grass.
Yeah.
I was like, you could see like there's a video. I like my head's like turning like this.
Where's the next
I'm like,
person?
where
Yeah.
like who like who's gonna tackle me?
Exactly. That was
ran
wide
in.
open.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh wow.
And then, all right. So did that tie it or did that?
No,
That
we're
brought
winning.
us.
That made it.
Yeah,
We were up.
18-16.
Did you guys get the 2-point conversion?
Elijah
Yeah, we-
ran
Okay.
it in.
Yep.
So we're at 4.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are up by 4. So obviously, if they score, they win.
Right.
All right. So what happens after that?
We also, I don't want to call out Weber here, but there's about 2 minutes left in the game,
Yeah.
and he put us in prevent.
Okay.
So-
Oh God, that's tough.
So they picked up on that.
Yep.
They do a jet sweep first play. They probably get 20 yards.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And so
my first
Yeah.
defensive snap.
we had a quarterback in on defense. We're in prevent.
Right.
So right after that play, I was like, "Get us out of this now!"
Yeah,
Like,
right. I was
like,
"We're
"Give
done."
me the
Yeah, I went right over to the sideline. I was like, "We're not doing that. There's
It's
2 minutes
a
left."
little early for prevent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone's liable to mistakes, even
Yeah.
coaches. So.
Yeah.
All right. So we get towards the end, and what happened after that prevent? Weird stuff. Did you guys get the ball back after that?
They
Because they didn't score.
That jet, like
yeah.
you ripped his helmet
This
off.
huge
remember,
bullshit
yeah.
was the quarterback had a loose helmet, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
He had to come out, right?
It fell off a
Multiple
couple
times. Yeah.
It fell off a couple times throughout the game, so I think it was third down, maybe 3rd and 10, and we got a sack, and I remember the kid's helmet just falls off, like tips back when he falls.
Yeah.
So he's their quarterback, he's their offense.
Mhm.
So without him, it's like one dimensional. Like what can they do without him?
True.
The refs tried to we had to really because we knew that rule because it happened more, so we were all freaking out about that. And the refs they were just gonna let him stay
play.
in.
Yep.
And obviously their whole team's not trying to put attention on it.
And you're at Dirigo.
Yeah, and so
Yep.
we're all freaking out about it. We're like, his helmet came off. He's got to go out. And it's 4th down. This is their last play. They're not going to have their best player.
Mhm.
So that was huge.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then-
they put that last play on.
yeah, and then,
25.
yeah, you must remember that. Obviously, that they did that reverse thing.
Yeah, it's like a double reverse or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And you guys snuffed that out pretty easily,
Yeah,
I
we
thought. So again, now 3 positive breaks. You guys must be riding on a high. Like, what the hell? This never happens.
Yeah.
You guys get the ball back, and now it's time to run out the clock, correct?
Yeah.
All right, Brady's laughing here. We'll get to it. So we get to the end here. I already speculated in the first one. Now we finally have you in the flesh. Okay. The clock runs out. It was 4th down, correct?
We went
Yeah.
3rd, but we didn't.
No, it was 4th.
I think it was
If
fourth.
it was 3rd, I would have taken a knee.
Yes, exactly.
We didn't manage the clock very well.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So it's 4th down. You guys have the ball. You need to run another play. You can't just let the clock
Yeah.
expire, you know what I mean? Or because the clock isn't running. You get the ball. You're running around, clearly killing time. We're watching. You throw the ball. The ball is intercepted. Before we get into what happened after that, why did you throw the ball?
All right, so he can attest to this. We're in the huddle.
Yeah.
We're in the huddle. He's like, so Coach Gallant.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, run about 4 seconds and throw the ball out of bounds.
Okay, that's
It
what
wasn't
I thought.
get down.
That's what I thought you were gonna do.
It wasn't get down.
Right.
So I was running and like I was like off my back foot. So I like completely thought, all right, it's gonna go out of bounds. But I was also thinking like, well, if it's intentional grounding, they're gonna get a free play.
Okay.
They're gonna get a free
Yeah.
play on offense.
Yep.
So I
okay.
tried to throw it like here's out of bounds. I tried to go like here.
Okay.
And just have it drop.
Yeah.
And,
You should be okay. Yeah.
So that happened, and then I saw the kid catch it.
Yep.
And toe tap.
Barely in bounds. Yeah. Just
Yeah,
sitting over
inbounds.
there.
He paused for like a second. I was like, oh no. Like, this is,
I think everyone's heart dropped.
I was like, this
I can
guy-
tell you what it was like as the sideline. But keep going.
I was like, this is like really gonna happen. This is how it's gonna end.
Yeah.
So like I start sprinting, and luckily like after their like 3rd lateral, we saw the flag.
Exactly.
So
And
I
the
was
game
like,
ended up being over before they even had a chance.
Before
A
Yeah.
lot of people didn't
It
realize
was
that.
it was a
Yeah.
big, it was a big worry though because they ended up getting it to that
to
the
an open
Hutchinson-
side.
They got to that Hutchinson kid, the shifty kid,
Yeah, yeah.
number 25. That's when we were really worried, and it was almost like it was going on for so long that we were like, I couldn't really run. Like it was kind of uncontrollable. Like I don't
Right.
know how we're gonna stop this. Like,
Yeah. Like I just stuck with their quarterback.
Yeah.
we
Number
kind of
3,
handled,
he
we
was on
handled it kind of
defense.
well. Like so, like Riley, like they were like kind of forming a wall at the back. Like I was just trying to chase him, trying to tackle
Yeah.
him, but like
I remember I played it, and before the play, I was like, you know what, just get me in here.
Yeah.
Because I want to be on the field.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
case something happens.
we actually
Right.
had like a couple of defensive people on the field just in case that
So
happened.
I
but-
played it. I was playing it like a safety where I was standing like by the end zone.
Yep.
and just kind of like
So
running.
was
making sure.
So was Kyan.
Yeah.
Kyan was back there with him too.
Okay, I don't think I know Kai, but shout out Kai.
Shout out Kyan.
Yeah, so it was interesting. So I pretty much speculated that's what I thought you were doing. I thought you were trying to throw it out of bounds. But it was just like the worst case scenario. You're on your back
Literally the
foot
worst
and
case scenario.
stuff like that. But I'll tell you, as someone watching from the sideline, we see the ball go up, and I'm like, all right, he threw it out of bounds. Fuck yeah, we're going to win. And I saw the kid catch it, and I was like, and me and my brother, you should have seen on the Old Orchard Beach sideline, I swear to God to you, and I'm not exaggerating, everyone was silent. There was no one who was speaking while this was happening, and it was just going back and forth, and you can just see everyone kind of pacing, gets kind of close to the end zone, and we're like, is this really how it's going to end? Dirigo curse manifests now. And sure enough, when you get your fourth break, you guys win the game. What was it? What was the immediate aftermath of winning that game?
I dropped and fell
I'm tired.
back.
Yeah, we couldn't even celebrate.
I literally dropped like to my knees and fell back.
Yeah.
I was so exhausted.
The quarterback had the ball and he threw it. So how it ended was he threw it like cross body all the way across the field.
Yeah,
And it
yep.
went over his head.
Over his head. Yep.
And I was standing with like by that kid that it went over his head. And I like took my helmet off and threw my helmet off and like jumped to the sideline.
Right.
It was, wild.
Yeah, that's
I was
crazy.
just me and I don't know if you know Colby, but
think I'm
shout out Colby.
Yeah,
He was
shout out Colby.
he
We're
was,
shouting out everyone.
Yeah, he was right there with me, and we're just like laying there looking at each other like, what the hell just happened?
But we got his ankles broken.
Colby really got his ankles broken bad.
Like drop, like snap.
Really?
He's not a defensive player though, so give him a break.
Okay,
Yeah.
come on. We just shouted him out. Shout out Colby.
He was dry heaving. I went up to him.
All right.
I thought he was crying.
Hey, well, I would have cried, man. Like, this emotional fucking game.
One thing I thought was really funny was you got the film of the game from our sideline.
Yep.
And if you look on that last play, my dad's like by the scoreboard that's over here. He's like taking a picture. And in the background, this play is going on. He doesn't even know.
Oh, he doesn't even know.
He's like taking a picture.
He thinks the game's over.
We just won like by 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like taking a picture of it.
Oh, that's so funny, dude. He didn't even know what was going on. All right, so you guys win that. Obviously, you're now, is that technically regional
Regional
champions. You guys are regional champions. The first one since 2019, going to the state championship game. So first and foremost, there's 2 weeks, or is it 1 week?
1 week.
1 week. Okay, so you play them again the next week. All right. So who did you guys play?
Orono.
Orono High School. Obviously, you guys don't play any of those teams up north.
Right.
You just had an emotional win, you know what I mean? So it's very normal for you guys to have like a come down after that.
Yeah.
I did some research because I was all in at this point. I was like, yeah, like we're
I think everybody is.
Yeah,
My
we're
mom
getting
was
to this
on
game.
the couch watching 3 hours of film.
Exactly. I'm going through everything, and I'm like, I'm looking at this team. They're winning. So they had a similar route to you guys. You guys were the 4 seed beating the 1-2. They were the 5 seed, and they beat the 1. And they were blowing teams out. 60-22, putting up 66 points, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Like this might be where I thought you guys would win because I saw what you guys were doing, but I was like, man, this might be where they're finally tested in terms of just firepower. I feel like the other teams, they were good. Like Dirigo was good, but they didn't have the type of weapons you guys had. Yeah. Mountain Valley was good. They didn't have the type of weapons you guys. On paper, these guys did.
Right.
The game turned out completely different.
Yeah.
What was the deal with that? What was the preparation leading into that game?
So, Bangor Daily News posted something and was like saying how they were going to beat us 56-24. I think, was that the score? The prediction?
They said that their offense would be too much.
Yeah.
I'll say straight up, on paper, that's probably what 95% of people would say.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Coach Weber hung up printed ones.
I love that tactic.
Every single one of our loggers.
It was like 30.
There was like 30.
I love that tactic right there. That's what you see every day. Yeah.
And then I went in you see like high octane offense. I'm a cornerback, so I'm thinking I gotta guard these kids they're scoring 54 points a game or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
So then I put the film on because I was super into film all year, and I was like, these corners do not play defense. They're up north. Like,
okay. So it was a little bit inflated.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was watching. They had throughout the playoffs, the other teams up there in the north, they thought, since they're so good at passing, we're gonna have 6 people in coverage, and they only had 2 people rushing the quarterback.
Wow. Okay.
So their quarterback had all day.
All day.
I
was getting rushed 4 against 3.
Well, that was the big thing that I noticed for this game is that quarterback had no time to throw at all, and you could clearly tell he was flustered in this
He played
game.
man on man the entire game, just sent everybody else.
Absolutely, you could tell because that kid was averaging 7 touchdown passes a game.
Yeah.
The 3 seconds we gave him.
Yeah.
If that.
But going in, it
Yeah.
was 3 seconds or less. We couldn't give him anything over.
Yeah, even if he was getting the ball off, he was still going to get hammered every time.
Right.
He had a super a pretty slow throwing motion.
Right.
Like he
absolutely.
like if you gave him time, like they were.
He could
like,
complete stuff.
He
Yeah.
could, he could pick
Yeah.
us apart.
Yeah.
But
So I remember going up to that game. It was just like a different feel. Like it was so much different than the Dirigo game, where everyone you could clearly tell was a little nervous. Like this is where we are. I think the people on the Orchard Beach sideline were confident.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, no one. You didn't see anyone like kind of like on eggshells. Like we were in the stands getting pretty crazy. Now the first drive of the game, you guys scored, correct?
Yep.
It
Yeah.
was not by any of you guys.
it was by Asher.
It was one of my it was one of my favorite players right
And
there,
Dirigo,
Asher.
He was the first one to score.
Absolutely, I want to shout out Asher because he's a hard-nosed kid, just like flies in there. Him and not Elijah, we just talked Shiloh.
Shiloh, yeah.
Not like the most built jack kids, but just fly in there like missiles and absolutely just clobber kids. And like
Yeah.
Asher, you clearly tell like he just runs in there. He's not thinking about anything. I love that. You need those guys on the team.
Right.
So when you guys score first, what's that like? Because you guys were a second half team this entire time. Now you're playing from the front. What was that like?
I think we were pretty. Honestly, I think we were pretty confident going.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything we didn't expect.
We didn't let up a single good touchdown. There was a hook and ladder and then 2 on
Kickoff.
I want to talk about that. So spoiler alert, the state game didn't end up being that great of a game. It was awesome watching you guys win. You had a great game, Riley. Yeah. You had a great game, Wes. I thought all you guys had great games. Don't 100% get me wrong, but like you see the people who score touchdowns and stuff like that. But it ended up not being a great game. Like you said, you let up a hook and ladder. Yeah. Anytime a team scores on a trick play, you know you have the up on them because they know they can't score with the regular plays. You guys fucking let up 2 kick return touchdowns. 1, what the hell happened? And then 2, why'd you kick to the kid again? Why? Can we talk about that?
Are any of us on special on Kickoff?
Yes.
I don't have anything.
All right, Ian, what was the deal there? All right, how did you guys let up the first one? Was it just like missed?
It was coming out of halftime, right?
Yeah.
Right after.
No, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, yes, it was. Yeah.
So they
right,
just
right before halftime, they just hook and
Yeah.
ladder. We were pissed off.
Yeah.
We were still winning by 2 touchdowns. We were still all down because they just scored on that.
Yeah, of course. So they scored the first one. Was it just like a miscommunication? Someone missed their lane assignment?
I guess so. I'm just gonna put this up. No, none of them went to my side. I'm just gonna put that.
You
out
were
there.
on the
I was on
left
the
side.
right.
Oh,
Yeah,
the right.
They all
Yeah.
left. I'm just putting that out there.
So did anyone? Who's the special teams coach?
I don't even know.
Your dad can-
You guys don't even have a special teams like guy.
I don't know.
I mean, you don't have like
Whatever.
special teams like driven person at the high school level.
he does personnel.
I feel like they all kind of run it.
Okay, so everyone kind of run it.
Yeah.
Did anyone say not to kick to the kid again?
No.
No, we were. I
We
just.
weren't worried about it because we had kicked to him like.
We scored 4 times before.
Okay, it's absolutely fair. I guess me being in the stands, I was like, this is the only kid that's really done anything and like generated any offense or just like positive plays. Just don't kick to him again.
Yeah.
And of course, kicks to the kid again. He takes the next kick back.
Yeah.
So obviously that didn't help. You guys end up winning like 46-22. 46-22. Talk about what it was like running out the clock. Were you guys on the field when you ran the clock out?
Yeah.
Okay.
We took.
What was
Yeah,
it?
make sure to get on the field.
Yeah, I took the last one.
So what was it like running the clock out? You guys finally, you guys were the first state championship team since '93, correct? What was that like? What was going through your mind? What were the emotions you guys were feeling?
You could see like if there's a video, me and him. You know, like my cousin. We played every sport together. We
Yep.
just hugged.
Yeah,
And I was like, we were just like, holy shit! Like we actually,
you did it.
this is something we wanted to do
Yeah.
for a long
Yeah,
time.
because we've obviously always talked about that. Like once we get in high school, like, our goal was obviously to win a state championship at
Yeah.
some point.
Yep.
But, yeah.
What was it like for you guys?
For me, I remember I like kind of got in on that hug. It was like everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It turned into a group hug.
Yeah, it turned into a group
It usually
hug.
does. Yeah.
And then, but I expected to feel like if I'm envisioning winning a state championship before that, I'm expecting like I'm gonna feel this like so amazing. But it's also it was sad because
It was kind of weird.
we had this magical season and now there's no more football.
And
Yep.
at the end.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It was like
my mindset going through the entire playoffs was I don't want to turn in my pads.
Yep.
So then, like going into that game, I knew no matter what, after this week,
It
I'm
was the
turning
dealer.
them in on Monday.
Yep. Exactly. And you can either be happy going into
And,
that or
like,
somewhat happy. That,
we'd
you know,
be like
first off.
Mount Valley, and you're like, all right, who's next? Like Cinderella story. And we beat Dirigo, and it's like, holy shit, we can win it, and then we
you
kind of
eventually end up winning, and
then
then it's over
4-0.
before you know it. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't think it. Honestly, I still don't think it's really set in that for me.
I think it'll like set in when we're at a high
We're
school.
in, yeah, I think
Like
I
when-
think once we're into the season too, it'll set in there like we won this.
We're the
league.
high
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
True. Absolutely.
We're not
And
the
then
underdog anymore.
that's going to be a big point that I want to speak on before. So you guys obviously won. You guys had the escort back into town.
Yeah.
The whole town was like, for the first time in like forever, the whole town was like together. You know what I mean? I thought that was a really cool thing. Did you guys do like rings or anything like that?
Yeah, we got rings.
Okay, you got rings. So you guys all got them?
Yeah.
we got
Okay.
those
I never
in
showed you
January.
my ring.
I don't think you did. No.
We should have brought them.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we can put up like a picture on here of one of them or whatnot. So you guys are the first team to win since '93, right? And the first team to win a state title in general in any sport since that time, I think. I mean, I could be wrong. I used to be a really big historian with Old Orchard sports, but
Sounds right.
I mean, I can't think of any other team. You know what I mean? Did you feel going into the playoffs the pressure of being the team, like especially when you got to the state game? Do you feel the pressure of finishing the mission and not letting the town down? Was that something you guys thought about?
It felt like obviously OOB's a smaller town, and it was nice to see the whole town together.
Absolutely.
So it was like, all right, like we're like what the town has right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to go do that for them.
Absolutely.
It was more like of a win for OOB as a town than for us as individuals.
That was an awesome day too, because it was like we went from playing Mountain Valley and Dirigo, and it was like 40 or lower degrees outside.
Yeah.
And then we play a game in November, and it's
Hot.
like 65.
Yeah, it was kind of hot out. Yeah, it was awesome.
It was awesome.
Like if I'm in a short sleeve
Yeah.
for a football game, it's warm out.
You're a long sleeve guy.
I'm always a long sleeve
Long
guy.
sleeve, yeah, for sure. Interesting point, side tangent. My junior year, I played, so I was a receiver, running back, whatever. I played all rec, all middle school. I didn't play my first two of high school because I didn't really like a particular coach. But anyway, eventually ended up playing my junior year and senior year, went my entire life without a fumble. Before you guys, we were the first team to make it to the second round of the playoffs. Everyone would always get bumped first round. Yeah. I fumbled for the first time in my life that game, and it was the only time I ever wore long sleeves. The next year, my senior year, I wore a kind of like what you're wearing right now, Riley, but I cut it into a tank top. I wore that for every game, so there'd be games it would be 25 degrees out. I was wearing a tank top because I was so paranoid of fumbling because of that. I just needed the ball on skin contact to feel, and I don't want to get that in any of y'all's head because you get whatever. But I needed that, so I find it interesting that you're
I'm more
always
like I have the long sleeve and I'll roll it up
like a quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. And I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter too much. Like it's more mental than it is anything. So you guys are now not the underdog. All right, that's the elephant in the room here. Yeah. You guys are going into the next season as everyone's. We need to beat Old Orchard Beach. You're going to be everyone's number one team.
Yeah.
What's the mindset going now into the season, knowing that you have everyone's number now? Like everyone's going for you guys.
I would say mine is kind of just don't think that every team is just gonna we can't think that we're gonna blow out every team because in football it always takes time to get the rhythm down. Like in the beginning of the season, our offense and defense wasn't clicking on every level, but by the end of the season it did. So we don't really know what could happen and how things are gonna shape out. So we just gotta try our best.
You're kind of going in with more of an expectation of last season was the last season. This is a completely new season. Yeah. You don't really feel that pressure. No. Does anyone feel that pressure at all?
Yeah, I think so. I don't want to end up like Mountain Valley like did last year, like that, because there could be another team that comes out like kind of like an underdog like we were, and then overtake us like that.
Absolutely.
And that would just be obviously a huge letdown if we
especially after the season you had last year.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like the stakes are definitely way higher now.
Yeah.
It's like it almost feels like a failure if you don't
win the state title.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about, they're going to be good this year.
Yep.
Like, and then also, I think even though I really try to keep this in my mind through my off season, I think I still fell victim to it. Was feeling complacent and getting too comfortable. Yeah. And I feel like my training wasn't as hard as it was going into that year last year.
It's very tough to replicate that. You know what I mean? Because you have, if you're an underdog, it's so much easier to climb to the top than it is to be on the top and just fight from falling to the bottom. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's very interesting because that's not a position that any Old Orchard team's ever been in, pretty much since 1993. It's been 30-something years, right? Has that been a talk? Because obviously you guys have group chats, you guys all hang out with each other. Has that been a thing that you guys have talked about? Have you guys talked about repeating?
Mentioned it. There's a reason why we're the favorites. We earned that.
Right.
but we have to show why we are like
why you're deserving of
why.
a repeat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm not affiliated with the coaching staff. You guys have really awesome coaches that will take care of you. I'm sure that's going to be a big thing that they're going to drill in. Last year was last year, and don't look ahead to repeating. You know what I mean? You got to win. You got to win game 1, game 2, etc. You know.
That's always his dad always puts like goals, and it's like have a winning record, host a playoff game, win the next one.
There you go. You know what I mean? If you can kind of compartmentalize it like that, the whole season just kind of like you were saying, one play at a time, it becomes one game at a time.
Yeah.
And then when you can take those 1 games at a time and make them 1 play at a time, you guys, you know, that's when you have every team at your feet. You know what I mean?
Like at Mountain Valley, I wasn't looking towards Dirigo.
Yeah.
And at Dirigo, I wasn't looking towards state championship games.
Exactly. And when you can play in the moment, that's when you play your best. I think you guys would all agree with that, right? Yeah. So I guess we're kind of getting into the next season. You guys literally have practice tomorrow. First practice.
First practice.
8 a.m. Do you guys feel ready?
Yeah.
You do?
I've trained a lot harder than I did last season.
Okay.
I'm in much like better physical
better shape. Okay. That was gonna be my next thing. What do you guys do for training? Because obviously that was a big thing for me. I was big into preparation.
So my split, like I'll do upper body, lower body, plyometric, upper body, lower body. But my first upper body day is more athletic movement based, whereas my second one is a lot of strength training.
Yep.
But so like I'll do my bench press on Mondays, which is like my athletic day, and then follow it with a bunch of athletic movements.
Okay.
And then on like Thursdays, I'll do like incline press, shoulder press, you know, like muscle building movements. And because like I've always been smaller, so to build that foundation, like, and actually be able to hold my own.
Yeah, absolutely. Just put on, you need muscle mass in order to, feel confident and stuff like that. So you're obviously training, so was that like a 4-day-a-week type deal?
Yeah. Well, if you count plyometrics, 5.
Oh, you count 5? Okay. What about you, Wes? What do you do for training?
So Monday, I'm going to the gym. I go heavy legs, and then I do.
Should we put the squat on here?
Yeah.
And then I go back and biceps, and then I go to the field and I just do a bunch of running back base drills.
Okay.
And then Tuesday it's a bench day, and then kind of upper body. Wednesday I'm at the track doing sprints.
Okay.
And then if for some reason it was raining that day, I do plyometrics at the gym. And then Thursday, that's my deadlift day.
Yep.
So I'm going heavy with that. And then I'm going to the field after that. And then Friday I close grip, and yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, so it's like a 5-day-a-week type deal for you.
And I've been doing physical therapy once a week too.
Right, exactly. So you guys sound like you have a good blend of like sports-specific stuff, but also stuff to like put muscle mass on.
Yeah.
What about you?
For my weightlifting, it's similar to Brady. I've really gone away from like training like a bodybuilder. I'm an athlete.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to train like an athlete.
Absolutely.
Like more functional strength training. So it's similar to that. And then as for the field, I similar to Wes, but I do wide receiver and cornerback drills.
Okay, more specific to your position.
Yeah.
Yep.
Me and Riley have been going.
I was going to ask if you guys had thrown yet. Yeah, okay.
And then I sprint with Wes on Wednesdays, and then Friday is the same thing. I do wide receiver drills or cornerback drills.
Okay, yeah, so you sound like you're trending a little bit more towards like functional training and sports-specific stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Now what about the big bruising D tackle here? What are you doing? Are you actually lifting?
Yeah, swear to God.
Okay, what are you doing? Tell me.
I'm training like a bodybuilder, definitely. I'm just trying to move as much the heaviest weight I possibly can.
Yeah. You have good technique. I will admit it. I will absolutely admit it.
Thanks, man. I look up to you.
Yeah, well, like I'm saying, you've come a long way since I first saw you. So.
The deadlift video?
Oh, has he ever showed you guys the 225 deadlift?
Yeah, he showed me that.
Okay, we got it. But you got really good squat form. You have really good bench press form as well.
Thanks, man. Definitely the first month and a half of summer, I think I went more.
Mm-hmm.
I still go, not as much as I should be going. I'm still definitely way stronger than I was last season. I'm just moving more weight in all 3, bench, squat, deadlift.
Yep.
It's been bad. I think once football starts, I'll be working less. I'll be less tired.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be a little more motivated. So I will get back at it. I mean, I still go, but
But it's just not as intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm still stronger and all, but
Yeah, but you just like to be doing more.
yeah.
What about you, Brayden?
It's kind of similar to me. It's my goal is to lift like 5 days a week, but during summer, I mean, I work a lot. Sometimes I fall short of that. Lately, probably the past 2-3 weeks, I've been going to the field quite a bit, like 4 days a week.
4 days a week?
Working on my positional
Absolutely.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm similar to where, like, during the school year, though, it's probably, like, where I'm at my strongest point because I'm in a routine. I have more time to lift like that.
Right.
So, yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah, and we live in a summer town. This is when you have your summer job and stuff like that. So I understand that it's tough to. But I think the coolest thing, because if you go back to when I was in high school, I'm not gonna say I was the only one. I was one of maybe 3 people that actually trained for the sport during the off season of anything. And now there's 5 people, and I imagine you guys aren't the only 5. Right? You probably have other people who are at least doing something. Yeah. There are people quite literally who just sit on their ass and do nothing.
There's some out there though.
Well, I'm sure, but you guys
I
can.
say names.
You don't need to say names, but that shows when you get into the season. I mean, you can see the people
especially
who
the
actually train.
first 2 weeks. That's where you earn your spot.
Exactly, and it's nothing. There's nothing better than coming into the season in shape, and you're like, okay, this is tough, but like I'm not dying compared to this kid who can't even like catch his breath, and we're on the first sprint of 6. You know what I mean? So. All that stuff matters, and I think it's so cool that you guys are. I think the group of kids, you guys can answer this a little bit differently than I am because you guys know each other and know the group. But from the outside looking in, you guys seem like better kids that are getting. Of course, you guys are kids. You get into trouble here and there, but it's nowhere near the type of stuff that I am used to. I remember very vividly, Old Orchard Beach had 22 kids on the team. 12, 11, so half. Yeah, so there was only 11. 11 of them were on academic probation, right? So there was a full, like all of them would be on the sidelines and have their helmets off, be in street clothes. You know how embarrassing that is?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was no other team in the league that even had one. We had 11 of them. Yeah. You don't see that anymore. I think that's really cool. You know what I mean? And I think it's because you guys, like the next generation is looking up to you guys. You guys can set that precedent. Like you're gonna have like Old Orchard Beach could become like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a dynasty. You know what I mean? Because it starts with what the young kids see. I remember what I saw. It was the exact opposite of what I wanted to be a part of. Kids coming in these days, they see what you guys are doing. They probably want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? So that's that. So obviously, let's. You guys want to win. You guys want to win another state title. That's the obvious. Very quickly, let's talk about what your individual goals are. I don't know if you guys want to get into like stats. I don't know if you guys even keep stats. We didn't. Maybe you guys knew them.
I think we do.
We do.
Right?
Yeah, we do. We have stats on Huddle.
I had to kind of guess mine. So by the end of the year, I won the like a scholarship, and I had to submit statistics. So I went back and kind of guessed all of mine. But it's cool you guys actually have them. Yeah. If you want to go the route of stats, go ahead and do it. If you want to go the route of like, because I know what you guys want to do as a team, so that's obviously in the air. What's your goals as a player? What do you guys want to accomplish? Let's start with Brayden first. What do you want to accomplish individually?
I mean, I'm not too big into the all-conference type of thing after last year.
All right, so we're going to talk about this. I thought you were the biggest snub of all. I thought by far you were like one of the best defensive players ever, bro. Like you were the best defensive player that I saw, top down.
Yeah, you had 100 tackles.
Well, exactly, top down from a lot of the.
I think he should have been first team.
100 tackles in 11 games.
I hate defense,
absurd.
but I would notice him on defense, so that says something.
They didn't even put me on the second team. They put me as an honorable mention.
And at that point, you're just like, I don't even want to be a part of
Yeah,
this.
I don't really want to be that anymore because like I feel like I don't know, it just lost like credibility for me. But yeah, I mean, I like to get over 100 tackles. I think I had like 97 last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to be utilized more on offense, but it's not up to me.
All right, so you want to play more on offense and you want to exceed last year's tackle goal.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Ian, what about yourself?
D-line wise, I like to. I don't know how many sacks did I have last year. I think I had 12.
12 or something like that. Yeah.
I want 15.
15.
We talked about that the first one.
We did. And I'll actually pay out this year because I wasn't actually expecting you to get to the goal that we set last time.
Okay.
Let's hopefully no officials see this, but I offer a sack incentive program. So every sack is $20. Ian ended up racking up too much, so I ended up owing like $200. I'm like, I can't do that, but I'll do it this year. I absolutely will. So you want to do that on the D line? Anything else? Do you want to? You were all conference?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Would you like to do that again?
Oh, of course.
All right.
I'd like to get all conference again.
It would be cool if they did a defensive player of the year. They do a player of the year. They should do a defensive player of the year. Yeah. I feel like that would be, and they don't do that in basketball. I don't know why they don't do that. They do assistant coach of the year. They should do defensive player of the year, right? Riley, what about yourself?
So I mean, I try to get away from like individual accolades, and I want to win a state championship.
Yeah.
That's really like, so I'm not really like thinking about that after the season. Obviously, I look at my stats. Like
Everyone should. I think so.
Yeah.
I could say like, I want to have this certain amount of touchdowns, or like, I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you
I
mean.
think I had 10 last year. 15.
How about because obviously you said you're more team driven. You guys are all team driven. What do you feel like you could do better this year compared to last year?
I think we should be able to start our games off hotter.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's a team thing. You guys start off better. I
Yeah.
felt like you were pretty good in coverage. I felt like you were pretty good, and I thought you were really good at the short ball. I know you're a good deep guy, but I thought your short run after the catch was pretty good.
As a team, I want to minimize our mistakes, which is easier said than done, but like.
Yeah, it is. That requires a whole team thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But mistakes are what like killed us in a lot of games last year. So like.
limit mistakes.
Yeah.
Wes, what about you, man? You probably have the most to improve of everyone. Obviously, you had a great year, but like you have three more years.
I mean, last year.
Depth.
We're not talking about lifting right now.
I mean, last year. I mean, my stats were obviously like they were pretty good, but I would like them to be. I like them to be better.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna. I'm just naturally gonna get more carries, both me and Asher, because last.
Shout out to Asher.
Yeah.
Shout out to Asher.
I mean, last year Elijah had 120. Me and Asher both had 60.
Yeah,
So
so Elijah
naturally-
touched the ball a lot.
Naturally, with him graduating, we're gonna get more carries, leading to more yards.
Do you have anyone else that's going to be sharing the backfield?
I think.
Reed, maybe? Ian?
Yeah, Reed gets.
I don't think that we know really though.
Okay.
Reed.
Reed ended up playing a lot in the backfield, right? Yeah.
But I mean, I would like to get all conference. It just.
Did you get it last year? Okay. Cap. They should have definitely gave you all conference too.
I mean, I didn't really play that well in a lot of the games.
Maybe it's inflated because I thought you played really well in the playoffs.
In the playoffs, I played pretty well.
Yeah.
But
State game you played for them.
yeah.
Yes, they can.
But it was. I mean, it would be obviously nice to get recognition. But my main goal is still state championship.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Brady?
Well, I mean, I would like to cut down turnovers. I had one going into the playoff game at Dirigo, and at 5 after that.
Yeah.
So that would be nice. I would also like to be more of a factor in the run game.
Okay, so you want to run the ball more.
I want to get in on defense,
Okay.
but
you really?
that's
I
not up
agree
to
with
me.
that. I want to get in the backfield a little bit too this year.
Okay. So you're like Mr. Receiver though. Why do you want to be on the
I
backfield?
mean, just think about like me and Wes are not so much as a running back necessarily, but like being like a receiving back.
Receiving back. Yeah, we
So,
talked
like,
about that beforehand. Yeah.
being like I wouldn't want to be catching direct snaps and running.
Yeah.
I want to be like me and Wes next to Brady,
Mhm.
and like I potentially have a linebacker guarding me.
True. That's
So
a
I
very
think
good
I think
point.
it's smart.
Yeah.
So like if I was running a route out of the backfield,
Absolutely.
it would open up a lot more opportunities.
Absolutely.
We
So,
like triple option out of it too. Like,
Okay.
There's a lot of options.
did you guys run any option?
We did like
Yeah,
a a shovel.
Okay.
It wasn't
Yeah.
really like his option though. It was like
Yeah.
it was predetermined.
Oh, it was like a shovel pass.
Yeah.
Good deal. Yeah. All right. Option is tough.
Yeah.
Option is tough.
It's
We'd
very
have to
tough do
practice
it.
that.
Absolutely.
And probably not run until like week 3.
Right. Exactly. And make sure no one listens to this because we're giving away all your secrets right now. All right. So you guys went through your goals here. So we'll finish up here. I just want to talk about where do you guys want to go after you get done high school football? I know some of you already either A, plan on playing, B, don't plan on playing, but I want to hear everyone else to hear. Let's go into odd order here. Ian, what are you doing?
After high school football, you're gonna catch me in the stands watching you guys. That's probably about it for me.
Okay, so you have no plans on playing in college?
No.
Okay. Is there any reason why? Don't feel like it?
No, I don't feel like it. I feel like it's a second job. They give you a huge workout regimen and you have to follow it. I mean, I feel forced to eat right, just be your best self.
Yep.
I'm all set.
You don't want to be yourself.
No, yeah.
No.
I know what you mean, though.
I don't know.
I was recruited at the D3 level. I went to a place called Springfield College. Decided very quickly that I was not going to do it because they had a system. They were a triple option team, and they pretty much, if you guys are familiar with like hockey, you know how they have like the line shifts. They
Yeah.
did that, but for the backfield. So it was like you would have 9 different people carrying the ball in the same game. Just didn't want to be a part of that. I've noticed a lot of people at the D3 level because there's no scholarships. Everyone's
Yeah.
being there because they want to be. People at the bottom end are miserable, like absolutely miserable. And that's not a reason to say like if you guys want to play, like that's not a deterrent. But that's just the reality of it. You know what I mean? They're getting up at 5 a.m. to do lifts. You know, they're pretty much go year round. The football programs pretty much go year round. Like some of them have breaks. Football not so much. Riley, what about you? Where do you want to go after high school?
If the right opportunity is there, it would be cool to play football in college. But
Does it matter the division to you?
I feel like D3 is a huge commitment for
no real payoff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe D2, but like.
Do you guys? There's like no D2 programs besides like anywhere near it. Like
I don't know any.
Assumption College, I think is D2, but that's in
Yeah.
Massachusetts. But then after that, I can't think of a single one. Can you guys?
No. So like, I'll probably try to like get recruited, but I might not necessarily like go to like a D3 college if it's not like just doesn't really feel worth it to me.
Yeah, I understand.
And I'd probably be ready to like get my life like.
Decide what you want to do after that.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know like the extent of what you guys have pursued for like recruiting or whatnot. Big mistake I made. You guys have to reach out to colleges, especially because you guys are playing 8-man Old Orchard Beach. They're just not going to look. Send them your stuff. You know, I mean, that's the worst thing that can happen is they're like, we're all set at this position. I mean, you guys have probably seen with like Josh Allen. Josh Allen sent like 11,000 recruiting things, and he eventually got picked up by Wyoming. So it can happen that way. Wes, you're the youngest of the bunch. Do you plan on playing football after high school?
I would like to. I'm thinking after this year, I'm going to try and start reaching out to coaches.
Yeah, freshman year is pretty early, so you don't want to bother them right now.
But I don't want to go out of my way and like have to pay a bunch of money to keep playing.
Yeah.
If I would like to play, but I don't want it to set my life back just to play 3-4 more years of football.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very mature take, actually. Most people are like, I'm gonna fucking play regardless. You know, this is my life, and it's cool. Do not get me wrong. If you are that person, you are that person. But unfortunately, life hits you pretty hard after that. You know what I mean? Brady.
I don't plan on playing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool, like, if I was given the opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that's more, like, I'd feel more accomplished with being given the opportunity than actually taking it.
I see.
Because, like, I can say, like, oh, yeah, I could have.
Yeah.
I could have gone. I could have played in college.
Mhm.
But, like Riley said, you know, you graduate. I think that's when it's time to start figuring out what you want to do.
Sure.
Rather than have, like, 9 months of your year get taken up from football.
Very true. That's very true. We'll get to the other question I had that came out of that. Brayden, what about you, man?
No, I don't plan on doing that, especially with a sport like football, because if you're gonna play something like that, like the D3 level, you're just, honestly, I kind of feel like you're gonna waste your time and you're just gonna like damage your body for like no reason, honestly.
So that's a very good point.
But,
No one really talked about the injury thing. I didn't think
Yeah,
that's
especially
true.
like maybe if you're gonna go to college and you're just gonna play like basketball or baseball, but football, you're just kind of putting yourself at risk for no reason. If you're not, there's no end goal for me.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense because it really you don't have an end goal at that point. There's not many people make it to the NFL from D3. I'm sure there is a couple, but
You usually have to make your way up, like you go to a D2.
Right.
Like I think everyone, as a kid, dreamed of being in the NFL, but like, obviously, there's a reality there.
Exactly, and I'm not Mr. Dream Killer, but I think for a lot of people, the reality of like how little people make the NBA, the NFL, it hits you. You know what I mean? You're like, wow, okay. You know what I mean?
The other day, on Friday, I was up at Maine had a scrimmage so my dad played there, so
Okay, yep.
we were able to go up and stand around. I met a couple of the coaches, and I watched them walk out of the thing onto the field, and that kind of put it into perspective of how much better I need to be.
Yeah,
And the level that those people are on.
absolutely.
Watching them play.
And even then, like you see, like at the Division I level, there's a D1 body type. You know what I mean? Very rarely is there someone who's rail thin and small who plays Division I football. You know what I mean? There has to be one outstanding quality if you're that size. Most of the guys, they look like D1 football players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess the question would be, you guys said opportunity. If like, because UNE is right down the road.
Yeah.
Blue Field. Decent program, not great, decent program.
Yeah.
If they went up to you guys like after your season was like, hey, like we would like to extend, like, we can't give you any money. You're gonna have a spot on the team. You're gonna be a starter from day one. Would you guys consider it? Ian, what about you? Let's start with you, Mr. Don't Want to Play. Let's start with the two guys definitely are not going to play. You didn't say as well.
No.
Yeah, you're saying no straight up.
No. If I'm not going anywhere, I don't want to. I don't want to.
Okay. Biddeford, Maine doesn't entice you?
No.
Okay. Brayden?
Yeah, not even a thought for me. I wouldn't do it.
Okay, so you immediately would say no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, if they're like, yeah, you're gonna start.
That's what I mean. They're
I'm
like, hey, we need your position. You're going to start day one.
Because, like, obviously, like, I love football. And, like, who knows after my senior year if I do want to keep playing it. But I would think about it.
Mhm.
The answer would probably be no.
Okay. You guys would probably be yes.
I mean, Brayden had made a really good point about the injuries too.
Yeah.
Like the CTE thing, and like, is that worth it at that point?
Yeah.
If you're not making all that money, then like.
Yeah.
And you're in
Like,
Biddeford,
I'm not-
Maine.
I'm not
Brady-
getting
like Brady
10
said,
million a
like,
year.
He's like, I love football.
Mhm.
But like, I don't know. At a certain point, it's like
Yeah.
you gotta like put the game behind you. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. And if you guys win 2 state titles, there's really nothing else to gain after
Right,
that.
what, like,
You know
what
what I mean?
else do you have to...
Truly, there's no place to go but down. You're going to play for, be at the bottom tier of a D3 team. So, real quickly, what other sports do you guys play?
Basketball.
Basketball.
We played baseball last year. Not sure.
Okay.
I played baseball.
Play baseball. You played baseball.
You play basketball?
Yeah. Played baseball.
Don't want to talk about it.
Don't want to talk about it?
No.
No.
Yeah, that's interesting. At Old Orchard, most people are 3-sport guys, or at least 2. So, yeah, man. So that's going to be it. So let's just end with something fun here. We used to do hot takes, but I don't think that anyone can think of a hot take off the top of their head right now, unless you can. By all means, go ahead and do it. I thought maybe for you guys, what's your pregame routine? I thought that maybe if you don't have one, you think you can make it up. No one's going to know. But
I think for me, this year, before kickoff, I'm going to do some smelling salts.
okay,
I'm going to get hype.
I can give you a bottle, no stork.
All right, yeah, I like that because I know I got hype, and with smelling salts, I'm gonna get even more hype. It's gonna be crazy.
Absolutely. I pray for the kid who's on the first line of kick return.
Like right before that ball sound, get the biggest win.
Okay. Let's go to Brayden. What's your pregame routine?
It's not really anything good. Like I don't eat.
Don't eat.
No, I can't.
Really?
I eat. I just don't. I don't.
What
really,
does don't eat mean? So like you don't eat at all during the day?
No, not really.
Christ almighty, bro.
Yeah, I can't.
Really? Why is that? Because you just feel like you're gonna throw up?
Yeah.
Ask Wes. Ask Wes.
What? Ask him what?
His pregame routine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask him, but Brayden's talking right
Should I go
now.
through like the full on?
Let Brady finish.
I mean, besides that,
So
I
he
don't,
doesn't eat.
Yeah, I don't like to be around people. I kind of just like to sit by myself, like with my headphones on.
Okay.
That's about it.
Like where are you getting your energy? Like just
I'm just kind of like I'm just nervous about it for like the whole day leading up to it.
Okay.
So
Is anyone taking? All right, we'll talk about this then. Let's go because apparently this is a big one.
Yeah, it is.
What's the routine? Is this superstition?
Yes, whole thing. Whole
Like,
thing.
even on the bus ride up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get on the bus, and I start off, and I turn on some UFC highlights. I watch that for 20, 30 minutes.
20, 30 minutes of UFC highlights. That's
Yeah. And then we go over and we're watching Leonard Fournette's college highlights.
okay.
And we watch about 1 or 2 videos of that.
Who's we? Him and his alter ego.
And then we're watching. I usually watch about half an hour of Marshawn Lynch highlights.
How long is this right now? We're already at like 2 hours.
this must be right up the road.
Yeah, these are like the run
Okay,
for
all right,
guys.
yeah.
And then I turn on. I have a playlist. It was only strictly 2 songs, and I would turn those on.
Okay, we have to say the 2 songs, bro.
The first one was "Aha" by Lil Durk,
Okay,
and the second one was "Not in the Mood" by Lil TJ.
okay.
And then
Real ignorant with the rap there. I love it.
and then most of the time I would fall asleep for the rest of the way listening to those 2 songs.
Okay.
And then when it comes time for like the game to happen, I gotta go either outside or to one of the bathrooms, and I have to puke.
You have to puke?
Yeah.
Every time.
Every
He
time.
forcefully does.
Because if I don't force myself to puke, then there have been times I've come off the field after like the first play and thrown up on the sidelines.
Very interesting. That is
So-
very interesting. So you forced yourself to puke
Yeah.
after listening to 2 hours of music and then 2 hours of Lynch, Fournette, and UFC highlights. What's after that?
Then I'm ready to go.
Okay, then you're good.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. That's superstition at that point. That's not routine. I love it, but it's
Yeah.
definitely superstition at that point. Let's go here.
as for what I eat, I don't remember what I ate like before the game last year.
Mm.
Probably like pasta or something like high carbs. Yeah.
Yep.
On so for like home games, I give my phone because I do the playlist.
Hell yeah.
So I give that to Garrett, who's in the.
Is it Garrett who I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
He puts that on.
You guys had sick playlists last year. I will admit.
I try to cook something up.
Yeah.
And then I've been working on it like the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
For this season now. For away games, I like similar to Wes. I watch like wide receivers highlights.
Okay. Yep.
That kind of gets me in like a certain type of like.
Yeah. You
seeing people play like gets you like. Kind
exactly. You're in the mood for football now. Yeah.
And then before the game, I'm kind of just like. I don't know. I just kind of just like chill out, I guess.
Chill?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. You don't try to work yourself up too much.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys. When they used to do like the breakdowns or whatever, like everyone starts screaming or whatever, I would never be screaming. I'd be on the outside of the thing saying nothing and just having my hand up like this, and then everyone would be screaming, getting wild, and I would just put my hand down and walk away.
And then when we did the coin toss, I got like way less hype towards the end of the year because I feel like we're all like just focused.
Right.
So when the coin toss and the captains run back and everyone's like supposed to like
Yeah.
that was so like no one really was jumping by the end of the year. We were all
And I 100% understand why teams do it and why, especially in the beginning of the year, it's important. But as a person like playing against someone, you watch a team just like laser focused. That's more intimidating than anything.
Yeah.
Yelling and whatnot. Brady, what's your pregame routine?
Mine's like completely different from Wes. I mean, similar. Like I like to be by myself on the bus. I don't like to talk much, and I don't listen to music that's gonna fire me up. I listen to music that's gonna calm me down.
Okay.
So like I'm not listening to like rap.
No, was it Lil TJ?
Yeah.
No Lil TJ.
I'm like, I'll listen to like Bruno Mars,
oh yeah.
Taylor Swift, Lana Del Rey, like
Absolutely.
those type of artists.
Oh, yeah.
To just like keep me calm.
More in my alley.
Because I'm a kid who's always like nervous.
Yeah.
Going for a game or like anxious. So I like to just be by myself, calm down.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of what I eat, I don't know. I have to have a coffee that day.
Okay, coffee.
I have to have a coffee that day.
Okay. Does it matter from where?
Preferably Dunkin'.
Okay. All right.
And I just usually like me and him, we'll do like 100 throws before like in the school.
Oh, in school?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then
get my hands right.
yeah, and like I just like warm up like hips and torso.
Love that. It's like a Dak Prescott warm up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But not like so exaggerated.
Not exaggerated, yeah.
Like he does.
That's awesome that you guys are pre-gaming in school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers are trying to get you to
And
focus.
As for the playlist, I can get like when we're in the school and there's no one there, I can play like explicit music more.
Yeah.
I can't put any like songs that have any cursing in
Yeah.
on the loudspeaker.
Right.
So the music's a little bit different in there.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. I was the aux guy myself too, so I would always get lit with that. Yeah, that's interesting. Not that you guys care. My routine was kind of similar to some of yours, not quite. I always had to have a Red Bull Yellow Edition in the morning time. Had to. Didn't matter what game. Before the game, I would have to have at least 100 milligrams of caffeine of some sort. I had these sports goos at the time, and those really worked for me. I had to listen to a certain, kind of like you, a certain playlist of songs in the same order. And I think a lot of people, Ian, you didn't really mention this. I don't know, maybe you did, Riley, too. I definitely had to be alone. I could not stand people being idiotic on game day. I'm a fairly calm person, fairly liberal person. I have a very high tolerance for bullshit. I did not have it on that day. I straight up would be like, can you get the fuck away from me? It's like, this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to joke about anything on game day. There is merit, though, to keeping it loose. You know what I mean? You don't want to be so uptight and whatnot. So I think that's going to be good there. Does anyone want to be bold and predict how the season's going to go?
No. Yeah.
I love it.
My words come back and bite me.
Love it. I love it. So when can we see the first scrimmage, and then when is the first game?
First scrimmage is August 19th.
First game is August 31st.
Okay, so August
Thursday
19th
night.
is next Saturday.
Yep.
From when this is going to be up. It's going to be, I don't know when it's going to be up, but it'll be the 19th. And then when do you say 31st,
31st,
and that's home?
Yeah.
It's our first day of school, too.
Only team playing that day. First game.
Really?
Okay.
Okay,
First game
and
in the state.
who are you playing?
Traip.
Okay. All right. I guess the last thing too, I have people who watch these that don't know you guys. If these people wanted to follow you on Instagram and see like your highlights and stuff like that, where can they follow you? What's your Instagram like handles? Or I don't think anyone uses Twitter anymore, right?
Yeah.
Does anyone use Twitter?
No.
Okay,
No.
does it? No one probably uses Facebook.
No.
So
I'm big on Facebook.
don't tag your goddamn Snapchats. What's the Instagram handles if people want to follow you? And I'll put it on the screen here too.
My Instagram's _rpro3.
Okay.
My
Ian?
Instagram's bplant22. Plant with an E.
Yeah.
Mine is Wes WTK24.
Tell them what,
Okay.
tell them what WTK stands
Yeah. What's WTK?
I made it when I was pretty. I made it in like 6th grade.
Say it.
It stands for Wes the King.
Brayden?
It's just Brayden Mansur.
Okay. And then you?
I think mine's Ian.blank024.
Okay.
Fair enough.
0024.
Fair enough. My Twitter name is Real West Side because we're in Western Maine.
Yeah.
No one understands it because we're on the East Coast. They're like West Side. What the hell? No. So that was, I don't even know what episodes. It's been so long since I recorded one of these, episode whatever of the Utopiacast. Thank you guys for joining me today. It was really cool. Even if you guys are down during midseason, I would love to do this again to talk about how the season is going and then do the same before the playoffs. So because the Journal Tribune I don't know if you guys remember the Journal Tribune. They covered Old Orchard Beach and Saco and Biddeford sports. They're not around anymore. I'll be that for you guys. All right, I'll make sure you guys are known. All right, take care, and we'll see everyone later.